Howdy ho, guys and gals. It's me and the missus. Back here again for Sunday Night Tool Talk Live. How's everyone doing tonight? Nate Dogg in the house. PJ Kentucky. Matt Sadis. Joseph. What's up, everyone? Hope everyone's watching. Had a good day, and also the bad days of sports. Loss of Kobe and his family members. May God bless his soul. Yeah, that was tragic. I mean, it was bad when I heard that he had died, but when I heard his daughter was on board, his poor wife.
What's up with Echo?
Echo. Picture.
Are
good?
we having pictures?
Good picture? Do we have a picture? I hope we have a picture.
Well, they couldn't hear us before.
Can anyone hear us now?
Disco music.
Was...
Hey, Road 418. Hello, all from Kansas. Tony says hello from New Mexico.
Excellent.
Oh, 10 seconds from a call to me over the music. Do they have a music intro?
10 seconds from a call to Jesse. Yeah, we had an intro. We had the music intro thing going. We're trying to get all fancified and whatnot.
Yeah. Obviously, I've upgraded my hat to a crown.
Yeah. So, I'm going to pull up my chat window over here so I don't have to deal with your chat. Oh, let's make sure you're on a live chat.
Just
there
for
we go.
fun. Hey.
All right. There we go.
Good. Hey, GBR Tools. Hello.
Mike Schmidt's in the house. Tony Fleming from New Mexico. Daughter Raw. Mitchell, Rip Black Mamba. Yeah, so true. Joe Smith in the house. How's it going, Joe? Dale's here. Barbecue 76 is around. Ryan's Abandoned Places. Hyper Tough got Cordless Angle Grinder. Ooh. D-Diz from Wisconsin. Who's the princess? Well, someone's celebrating their birthday early.
I'm celebrating your birthday.
My birthday. Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We like to normally do birthday weeks, but I think this year she's going to get a birthday month. So
that's right.
They need more volume. More volume from me or just from her?
Not more volume from our children because I can hear them stomping around like a wild
Nick Hoffman for the Emperor. Did I get your email? Nick, I did not get your email.
Catman.
Go ahead.
Catman Caitlin says another one from Kansas.
Excellent. Sorry. IFZ says hi. And Franklin Graff from Michigan. Novus Nick's in the house. Dibrock's here. Dotara, evening all. Did the missus share the pic I sent of my moral support? She did. Yes, she did, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I left my drink over here.
Not a good place. Yes, everyone is sort of chiming in about Kobe
in the crash.
and everybody who passed away in the crash. It is awful, and I kind of can't believe it.
Well, so I didn't hear about it online. I was here working on stuff today, and Griffin apparently heard from you that he died. Comes running in here, and I'd just been reading something about the whole coronavirus, and that there's now 5 episodes in the U.S. And Griffin comes running in and tells me that Kobe Bryant died. And I'm like, of the coronavirus? He's like,
I'm sure it's one of those, like, you're focusing on something, so your brain puts the two together, and you're like, what happened?
He's like, no, helicopter. Oh.
Yeah.
Still, it was weird. Where's the wife? Does she know you got a beautiful princess hanging out with her? Yeah. She's okay with it. Did you watch the Rust Belt Mechanic chat where he talked about the top 3 tool companies, Snap-on, Matco, Mac, and how they are being affected by Amazon, Harbor Freight, Icon, etc.? What's your thoughts? It's funny you mentioned that because actually quarterly earnings just came out from Snap-on, and we were actually just having a conversation about that they're down. Their sales are down, but even worse than their sales is the usage of their higher end credit. Their not the stuff on the truck because it's hard for them to track that, but their actual corporate credit line is down. I think it's almost 5%, which when you're the size of Snap-on, that's a sizable cut in earnings. And it's not just earnings right now, just because people stopped using it, so that's a loss right now. but that's compound interest lost. And being a publicly held company, that's not a good thing for them. And yeah, it's, as I said before, that I think 2020 is going to be the year of the tool truck alternative. That all these brands, Matco is definitely stepping up. I hear a lot of mechanics telling me that, hey, our Snap-on dealer just disappeared. We don't know where he went, but there's a new Matco guy, and he's great. And he's selling stuff off the truck that's not just like one brand. Like, he's selling Milwaukee tools, and he's selling other stuff. And I've said for a couple of years that independent tool trucks are the way of the future. That's where things are going to end up. And you agree, right?
That's right. Stan the Man says, I came here to talk about tools. Well, Stan, I think you should.
That's good. Why not? Let's do tool talks tonight.
Why not?
We'll do something different.
Barb, DeBrock wants to know what we're going to get him for our birthdays.
We know, that's
you
funny.
Know what? Our presents. Our amazing presents. That's what we're getting you.
The Cubs ask me every year, like, what do you want for your birthday? And I know I don't help them out because it's like, I'm always like,
he doesn't help anyone.
I tell them to, that's more about, for me, it's more about them going and doing something fun with them, doing something excited with them. Mm-hmm. Although we are going to go out for lunch again, go to the Brazilian steakhouse.
We're not taking them. Right?
We're not taking them.
We're not taking them.
Because they're hooligans.
Yes. Barbecue 76 says that his daughter requested that they go out to Golden Corral. And he took her out to Golden Corral on her request. And for those that don't know, it's a buffet. I ate a lot, not because it was good, but because I wanted to get my money's worth of cheap food. And he says now that he's home, he's really wishing that he hadn't. I think that we have all been there once or 100 times.
That feeling where you got to beat the house.
You're like, I got it.
They weren't counting on me.
I'm going to have one more popcorn shrimp.
Of course, we're not allowed to go there anymore because one of our children, I won't say which one, stuck his whole paw in the chocolate fountain thingy.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
He's probably still mortified about it.
He is. He hates it when I bring up that story, which is why I bring it up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Donna Ross done with work. Dale says happy birthday. Thank you so much. Actually, our birthdays are like a week apart, so
yeah, and they're in February. I'm just celebrating early
because we're awesome.
Yeah,
because we get excited about these things, or she does at least.
I do. I mean, how often really do you get to wear a happy birthday crown?
Me? Never.
All the time.
Never, actually. It's never an option.
Yeah.
Michael Chesia, hey boss, been busy, back home now. Goodbye, Colorado. Sent you a vid link to a set of battery adapters. Did you watch? I did. There's been a whole bunch of stuff about the battery adapters going around.
You're not even in the frame, honey.
Somebody did a video on them recently. That a bunch of these companies. I don't know how long this is going to last. If it's going to last, because a lot of these companies work off of all. I won't quite say the razor blade model where they give you the tool for next to nothing and hope to make it up on batteries. They're definitely making money on the tools, but they make way more money on the batteries, and they're hoping to sell you a whole bunch of batteries. And the last thing they want you to do is buy the tool and then buy someone else's batteries. So these companies making these adapters, I have a feeling that at some point, if they get enough volume, that the big companies are going to step in and come up with some reason to have a lawsuit. They'll claim patent infringement on the because there has to be some electronics on board, because the problem, you can't just take a positive lead to a positive contact and a negative to a negative. That people have tried that, it doesn't work. Well, there's a computer in there that handles it, especially on the brushless stuff, and they need to communicate back and forth with the battery to handle the efficient load and stuff like that. And basically, also, there's probably something in there that goes, is this legitimately one of our batteries? So I'm guessing at some point Milwaukee and DeWalt will come in and be like, no, enough of that game. Where's the bear coins in the tip jar? The tip jar is kind of small, isn't it? It's down there in the corner. Well, why are there bear coins? I don't know why there are bear coins in there. I have no idea. Has anyone heard anything from Brian at Redemption Garage? He hasn't posted or done anything live chat in a few weeks. I have not heard from him in a long time, actually.
Yeah.
I think over the holidays, everyone got really busy. And the problem is when you're producing content, especially when you're not full-time, when you do take a break or something interrupts, it's really hard to get picked back up. I mean, even for me, after the holidays, we took a break over the holidays.
Yeah.
It was a struggle to get back into the consistent video production kind of thing. Mike Adams says he's listening up while he's finishing his chores. Hey, speaking of which, I'm starting a couple podcasts. If you guys don't know, we also started a channel last year called Geek Health, where we are journaling our experience through trying to lose weight and get healthy and stuff. And that kind of got off the rails last year. We're trying to get back on it. And so I've started doing a daily podcast. I'm going to be trying to get up bright and early every morning and do a 5 to 15 minute podcast. It's going to be on the Geek Health channel on YouTube, but it's also getting distributed as a regular podcast, audio only podcast across iTunes and Spotify and everything else. And then I'm also starting a second podcast. It's going to be a weekly podcast, probably out on Fridays. That's called The Bear Facts, and may change the name on that because it conflicts with another one. But the idea is it's going to be business, financials, job career planning. Basically, a lot of what we talk about here, especially with mechanics, with having them look at their job as not a job, but as a business, taking yourself to the next level, an emphasis on helping people understand about leveling up in their life and in their careers. And that there was a big conversation that came out of the Lowe's thing where I was talking about people were complaining like, oh, I've been in this job for 20 years. Blah, blah. I'm like, you've been a cashier for 20 years. Why aren't you senior management after 20 years? Why aren't you trying to push to that next level? So anyway, and that brings up one more thing. I got contacted, and I haven't even had a chance to tell you this. TTI, those are the guys who make Ryobi Rigid AEG, which is sold overseas, and Milwaukee, had a testing facility in South Carolina. In fact, their main offices are in South Carolina. But just down the road from there, they had a whole testing facilities. And it was pretty out of date. And they were building a brand new state-of-the-art testing facility just down the road from there. And I got contacted by some people and was told that apparently what happened was they were ramping up this new testing facility. And they were so eager to get started that they hired a bunch of people into this new testing facility. And now they had two groups of people working. By the time that got fully finished or close to finished, they had two groups of people. So they just fired the people who had been working there for years.
That's not a good plan.
Who makes that call? Hey, thanks for getting us here. Goodbye now.
Yeah, I mean, people do, but
I just, oh my gosh. Okay, why don't you read some comments here? I'm going to back up and cover some of the stuff we missed.
Jim says, at the Den of Tools, independent tool dealers can make it because of no territory boundaries, so they can kind of go where they want instead of the counting toolboxes per territory like Snap-on does. Marshmallow Squish says, what's your thoughts on Knipex?
They're amazing. They're pricey, but they're amazing. They're like the Cobra pliers. You can't. There are alternatives. If you use it every single day and that's your main tool, that's kind of a nice thing. Like if you're an electrician, there's a lot of tools you may have, but you're not like a mechanic where you've got hundreds of different things. You may have a bag or something like you carry and you use every day. And on that one kind of tool, it's equivalent to a the ratchet, the 1/2-inch ratchet for a mechanic, right, or the impact driver for a contractor. And maybe in that kind of stuff, yeah, you go with Knipex. I think I'm a big fan of Klein also.
Oh my gosh, leave my phone on.
But there are cheaper alternatives. You can get the job done, but at the end of the day, what is the entire cost build out for somebody who's using that stuff versus somebody who's has a bigger box of tools they have to supply.
Mark S, I think, is who asked this, and I can't see the question anymore, but I think it was basically, is there a best way to do it yourself to calibrate your torque wrenches?
Yeah.
I think that was the question.
Is there a best way? There's several videos on YouTube on how to self-calibrate. Basically, it comes down to having a good stable platform to set the torque wrench in. Then using a luggage scale, like a handheld luggage scale, and doing some math. And there's some calculations you can look up online that'll help you with that. A ton of videos on YouTube to find out how to do that. But it works for handheld, for basic stuff. If you're not in the scientific realms, calibration's just fine. Hold on, let me catch up on some of these older ones.
Hang on. Barbecue 76.
Oh,
Hello.
oh my gosh.
$2. Back from the buffet. Smell my neighbor's barbecue. Thank you so much.
All right. No Snick says, I'm using the Bauer chainsaw, cuts like knife on warm butter, and he uses to when the bigger batteries for the Bauer will be out. It's going to be later in the year. Let's see here. D-Diz, why are the brick... I don't know. Has anyone heard anything about... Brian, no, we didn't ask that. How did I miss these? Buckeye925 says, hello. Joe Smith, what's the best hammer to buy? The one that fits the nail that you have to hit. It depends on what you're doing with it. I'm a big fan of Estwing as far as a brand of hammers. I'm not going to say they're the best out there, but for the money, they're pretty sweet. Dada Ross, so wait, both in February? Which days?
I already sent her a message.
Yes.
Yep.
The Buckeye, if you are sending... Oh, yeah, he said, by the way, he comments that, yes, by the way, as it says up here, please type @Den of Tools. It shows up in our feed as a big orange blob, and that lets us know that you're talking to us, and rather than talking to somebody else. Because you guys chat amongst each other all the time. That's totally cool. We want you to do that. But I only answer the ones where you're explicitly talking to me, or where it's a not live stream, a super chat.
Yep.
Or, there's a few other ones I'll chime in on as well. And, of course, any of our mods or our members, I try to glance over theirs and make sure. But it really helps when you put @ the Den of Tools to make sure that I read it. That said, if I don't read it right away, as you notice, I can go on some tangents. So take a minute and just relax. You don't have to repeat it a bunch of times. If I don't get around to it, she's reading the live stuff. I'm back several hours. Probably yesterday sometime.
Right. And although I'm reading it, he sometimes still goes on a little thing. Anyways, somebody had a okay. And then now you're scrolling. Wherever
I'm on my side. You're supposed to read your own.
Okay, but I can't scroll it up.
You're supposed to stay with the new stuff. You don't know how to do your job, do you? This is going down on the permanent record.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
No Nick says, I finally broke down to see all the hoopla is about Yeti. I purchased a thermal 12-ounce Rambler, and I love it. Keeps my hot tea hot forever. I'm sold on their mug. No Nick, I got bad news for you, man. The knockoff mugs, they're just as good. I did a review on these about a year ago. I even cut one of them in half. It like the Harbor Freight mug, there's no difference from the Harbor Freight tumbler versus the Yeti tumbler. They all work.
Shaka, Ryobi, and Hart are trash. That's right. Bing, 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 bing.
But what about Black & Decker? Shaka?
Thank you so much.
I want to know what Shaka thinks about Black & Decker.
She'll let us know.
Okay. Echo says, type @Den Tools if you want them to respond. Wait about 10 minutes. I'm trying to be better. Not doing so good at it. Joe Smith says, got a piece of metal from steak cut in the throat last time at Golden Corral.
No.
24 hours in the hospital, $3,000 settlement. Yee ads. Kirk says, I have a few Snap-on tools. They're good, but not super fantastic. Matco, I like Matco. I don't have any Mac. A friend of mine talks up Cornwell. If you guys haven't seen the post I put up on the community page on YouTube today, you need to check it out. A nice Snap-on hammer drill, snap in half. And the dealer tells him he's out of warranty. Nice. When his dealer does show up, because his dealer is at the convention. But anyway, go ahead.
So Randall says, just getting into woodworking and plan on renting a garage at my apartment. Which table saw do you recommend? Why are you renting a garage?
Because you need garage space. You're not going to do it in his apartment.
I know. I'm just.
Can you imagine the
I
sawdust
wish you
would get
had
in
a
the
friend
carpet?
that you could just use their garage.
Yeah, she's just cringes at spending money.
Right.
The thing I need to know is how much space is it? 1 car, 2 car? How important is the table saw? I mean, basically what I'm trying to figure out is, do you want like a full-size cabinet saw? Will you hybrid work? Are you looking at a larger folding job site saw, or do you need a compact saw? There's different best saws at each level.
Okay, I need to go. It sounds like people are being
Go see who's getting. Yeah, the Cubs are playing. Was it reindeer games or something in there? I don't know. We already talked about Knipex. I noticed your comment on LPL. He has a nice channel, very talented picker. Oh, yeah. Michael Ches is not sure I agree with you. In my world, experience, a lipo battery is a lipo battery. Either way, we'll see. The battery, I don't know. Okay, I'm not sure what that was in reference to. Ross, where I'm hearing a soapbox. No soapboxes tonight. Client Graphics in the house. How's it going, man? And let's see here. Who else we got here? Arnold's Machine Tool. Is it possible just to get the yellow bins for the storage cases? Oh, you're talking about the little inserts? I don't know. They have a new parts department. I'd give them a call. My guess is that's probably low on their totem pole of stuff to start stocking. Splat says, jealous of you being able to only wear a shirt in the garage. I'm in New Jersey, need a jacket, hat to do. Yeah, it gets cold here sometimes. It's gotten down in the 30s. I got a heater back here, but don't have it running right now. It was pretty mild today. Michael says, as for sacking staff, we had an expression for contractors like me in Iraq. We are road trash. We get picked up, used, tossed out again. Nasty truth of the industry. Yeah, that's true. David Fry says, I bet McGraw would make a belt-driven compressor. It would be even quieter. Or do they already? They don't. They're the only belt-driven compressor at Harbor Freight right now is the Central Pneumatics. So there's no Fortress and no McGraw. Clyde Graphics says, happy Sunday, and everyone on the live stream, hit that like button and enjoy life and tools. Thank you so much. Gurmute, what's going on, my man? And let's see who else we got in the house today. Oh, come on. It jumped on me again. Grizz MT's in the house. Hello, Bears. Fry TV now. Did y'all get a new cam for streaming live? It looks better tonight. No, same one. I just got rid of the presets, or not the presets, the color corrections I did on the last one. Also, it's slightly different setup. I get a new desk. There's going to be a video on that. I got one of the Husky adjustable height work tables. Kind with a little hand crank over here so you can crank it. Look at this. You guys can go very slowly go up. Look at that. And very slowly go down. Here's the cool thing. So the handle pops right off. And somewhere she hit it. You guys get a sneak peek on this. So this is the handle that goes into it, which just happens to be the exact same height or same size as a 10 millimeter. Oh yeah. Why buy the power version when I already have the drive myself? I got a ton of them. Also, don't use an impact. It's very shaky. Let's see. Donnie Mullen says, love the Hercules table saw. Thank you. It's a great table saw.
Elkfist, $2.99. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I really appreciate everyone who donates to the live stream. You guys are awesome. And I really appreciate all the support you guys give the channel. It really helps. In this case, it's probably going to be helping to get new... we're trying to get a new microphone. And I'm trying to get a whole new microphone system. I'd like to be able to set up like real studio mics and put one over on that side for her and one on this side for me. They get rid of all the wonky acoustics, especially for you guys who listen with headphones who notice that kind of stuff. So that's our next big investment. Anyway, and now for those of you who are asking, I'm not looking at the Shure, what is it, the MK7Bs or whatever. We're looking at the Rode Procaster. Oh, my magnifying glass. Good job.
Good job, Al.
Now go brush your hair. Or maybe take a shower. That'd be good for you.
I'll clean it.
She's cleaning?
No,
Wow.
I somehow missed that Steven exploded a baked potato tonight. That is.
Oh, how
was
do you
it
manage
in the
that?
microwave or?
Just out back, just for some fun.
Yeah. I'm wondering. Inquiring minds want to know. Also, what was in the baked potato? That's what I want to know. Like, was there like bacon and cheese and sour cream and all that goodness? Because that sounds delicious. Perhaps I'm just trying to live vicariously through your potato lives.
This is interesting. Michael says he noticed that a new thing, that there's a reflection of the monitor in the paint. Now, why wasn't that there before?
Was that light not on over there?
It may have been a case like where my head, it was an eclipse. I was blocking it. Oh, that's probably because it's a different position for the camera. Maybe it was just the way the camera was set up before it was blocking it.
Is it like really, really a pain?
Can you read it? No. Did you wax that icon box behind you? Nope, that's just the way it comes. Almost every battery line has a small shop vac. Any inside word of ideas of Bauer will get one. I'm pretty sure that they are getting one because we had leaked photos from some time ago, a couple different times, and there is what looks like a battery-powered shop vac on there. Bob Wetzel, any suggestions for replacement rip fences for an older Delta table saw? Yes, sir, there are. Why don't you read a couple questions real quick, and I'm going to look it up.
1995, I think is who was, said hello. So hello. And Den of Tools, hey, the door on the Wuhan apartment building behind you is closed. Are your tools under warranty? All right, Craig, not really sure what that means.
Huh?
Wuhan is where the thing came
Apartment
from.
building? You mean because they're closed, maybe?
I don't know. Barbecue 76. Here's something to help your microphone. Don't think I could help with the special hammer for your review. Check your email if you have a chance. I think you sent something to you, not me, because I did check my email and I didn't see anything. Thank you so much, Barbecue 76. Bing, 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 bing. Fred Hill 199 for our new mics.
Oh, thank you
so much. I always love your icon with the flag and the eagle. Anyways, thank you so much. Jennifer's reminding folks that, hey guys, it's a kid-friendly channel. So thank you so much. I was trying to read, okay, it was in the oven. He had forked it. It was the smallest one. So when he poked it with the fork, did it
family-friendly channel?
So I'm just trying to understand, like, when you poked it, did it explode? Okay. Mr. Spartacus says, okay, I want a bear next to my name, but I never see the join button. I see it on the other channels in the app and on the website, but never at the Den of Tools.
That's weird. If you go to if on a PC or Mac, if you're on a computer, if you go to the main page, it's right over to the right where there's a subscription. I don't know that in the apps. I know in iOS apps that it's not there.
I get it now. Elkvist says, at the Den of Tools, we couldn't see the reflection before because you always had the hutch open instead of closed.
Oh, that's
Ta-da!
why.
Mystery solved. You guys are geniuses. Gold star for all of you. Joseph says, at the Den of Tools, I like purchasing my tools from the big box stores just because of, it says, on how easy it is to return items. Because of how easy it is to return items. Okay.
Here we go. All right, I found it. Sorry, it took me a little bit. Had to find it. Delta 30-inch T-square fence and rail system. Where's my chat window?
You don't know.
I don't know. I had it around here somewhere. I put it down.
You lost it.
Put it down and I walked away.
I might have put it away.
I believe that. All right, there we go. That should propagate. There we go. So I just put the link in the chat so you can find that. And so let's see here. I'm going to see if I can catch up again. Hello, Nevada from Harrisonville, Missouri, James says. Brian Taylor, looking at brushed motor drill sets, had problems with my previous model DeWalt batteries and chargers. M18 Milwaukee brush motors, pros and cons. The pro of, just for Milwaukee pros or brush motor pros. The Milwaukee makes some great tools. They really do. Even their lower end stuff is better than, like, say, DeWalt's lower end stuff. Brush motors, I feel that they're easier to fix. If you have a problem, they're usually pretty easy. Anybody who's like a real tool guy can take them apart, fix them, get in there, change a brush, that kind of stuff, clean them out. When a brushless tool dies, it dies. You get better efficiency on battery life, but Joseph says, do you think adding extra technology like One Touch can be a problem down the future? Because sometimes too much technology is not good. Always. The question is, do you want convenience or simplistic reliability? That's basically what we just talked about there with the brushless versus the brushed. Mm-hmm. Go.
DeBrock, $3 for that dude Mike. Whoever that
Mike.
is. That's right. Thank you so much. And for Terry, hi Bears, what's up? $5. Thank you so much. Ding, 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 ding. Dr. Ross said that he forked it so it would release the pressure before cooking, and it randomly exploded during cooking. I'm guessing that your oven is looking special right now. I actually have to clean our oven every time I cook with every time I use it, it smokes, and then the fire alarm thing goes off, which is great that we have one, but I'm probably using all the batteries.
It goes off all the time.
You just have to have smoke and look at it.
Yeah.
And then it's
you don't even need smoke. You just need to look at it wrong. Yeah. Randall says, one car garage. I was thinking a bigger portable saw would be the best, but I'm open to suggestions. I'd like to spend less than $600. So the whatchamacallit, the Lowe's has, it looks like a cabinet-esque saw, but it's not. But it's about the same size, but it's not. It's what you call a hybrid saw. And what that means is that the trunnions are mounted to the table rather than to the cabinet. It's probably the best full-size table saw that you can buy for the average, person out of any, for under $1,000. It usually runs right around $500. It's a 110 saw, essentially 1.5 horsepower, which is the max you're going to get out of 110 anyway. It has a great fence, Bessemer style fence. It's smooth as butter to move around. You press the pedal down and it just glides, but it is big. Now, if you want something that folds up and lean against the wall, sorry, I'm trying to sneeze here. Metabo, there was a Metabo folding job site saw that was on sale for around $300, $350 with stand. It has a great stand, folds up, good fence. It's got a sliding outfeed table. It's about the best you're going to do as far as getting as much size for it. And when it comes to woodworking, you want a big table to work with. And if you can't have a big table, you want to have outfeed tables and everything else. So that's probably your best bet. That was on sale. I think it's probably still on sale considering what they're doing with Hitachi and Metabo right now. But I can't remember if it was at Lowe's or at Home Depot. It's probably got to be Lowe's, I think. Rodney from Branson, Missouri in the house tonight. Wallace says, good evening, everyone.
Jabrock says the membership button is just under the video, about 6 lines down. So I think if you click the expand, it's probably listed right there. So thank you, Jabrock. I know a number of other people have also made comments, so thank you so much.
Fred Hill says, just coming over from the YouTube channel about Helo Crash earlier today. Really crappy weather. And just Southern California can't catch a break, can they? Craig Chetto, hey, the door. Oh, that's when you read on the apartment building is closed. Are the tools under quarantine? I get it now, yeah.
Sorry, we were slow.
No. Let's nice tool chest guy. Thank you so much.
I see you, Christina Marie.
My eyes are right here. Stop looking at my chest. Come on.
I see you, Christina Marie. We will see you on Tuesday, yes.
Oh, Taco Tuesday.
Yes. I might be a little late. I have a meeting before.
Go on.
Not safe for work, Harold. Sounds like somebody I would get along with. Every time you ring the bell, my dogs go nuts. So does that mean you want me not to? It's $2. Thank you. I'm going to ring it, but hopefully your dogs don't go crazy. Thank you so much.
All right, Barbecue 76 had sent this thing. For some reason, I like this tool more than I probably should. If you can find one, it's worth my opinion. I've used it a lot. It holds up great. It looks like an all-trade. Oh, it's a
utility.
It's like a box knife with a little function where when you grip it, I guess the blade actually extends, and then automatically retracts when you let go of it, which is nice. So if you let go of it and you drop it, it's not going to slice your toe off. Go ahead and read another one. I'm going to look something up real quick.
M. Diesel says, thank you for posting a video regarding Lowe's and how they're unfairly firing employees who have been there for 10 years or more. My mom was fired 2 months ago after trying to stop a shoplifter.
Oh,
I am
jeez.
so sorry to hear that. That is awful. I cannot read the name. I think it's Terry. Hey, Terry joined. Thank you. Welcome.
Boy, that is hard to read, isn't
the
it?
font is super hard to read.
Well, it's because he's a moderator, so it shows up as blue, and then it's green behind it, and the colors are so similar. Yeah. It's kind of weird. Anyway, and I was just about to... Here's a link. I can't post it there. I got to post it over here. A link to the...
Jennifer's got a phone call. She's got to go. Hopefully we'll see you back again, but we totally understand. What?
Are you done?
For right now.
Anyway, there's a link to the join button. I thought there was a way I could just post it, and there is. The best thing for the sort of videos you were doing is probably a set of wireless lavalier mics. The lavalier mics are great for when you're standing and moving and walking around. For this sort of stuff, studio mics generally are considered to work better. It's audio only. We're not moving around. We're in a stationary position. Like this is what I've got right now. Is this one right here, and they the lavalier mics can pick up a lot of other stuff, and you don't get the wonderful deep intonations like you get with a studio mic with the lavalier. At least that's what I've been told by the people on here who know more about mics than I do. What do you think of the 100-foot hose reel from Harbor Freight? I think it's about 3 feet too short. No, it's... I've never used the actual hose reel. I've used the automatic ones, like the ones where it's built in, you pull it, and then it pulls it back. I've never looked at the manual hose reels myself, so I can't really say. Mike says, I don't remember the name of the YouTube channel, but I've seen a guy, I'm guessing in Europe, that has a combo miter saw with a tabletop. Same blade. That is really common overseas. You see that a lot in Europe, some in South America, a little bit in Asia. But the combo power tools, stationary power tool things, is a really big market in overseas. You never see it in the U.S. I think in the U.S. because people have enough money and we have a lot of space. In Europe, they're crammed in. They usually have a much smaller space to work with. So you see those kind of combo tools. Some of them scare the snot out of me, to be honest.
Yeah. Paul St. Marie says Princess or Louisville Princess, and he asked if my scepter was Louisville Slugger, and I'd say yes.
It is. Correct. She's got a green one from
the A's.
The A's.
Yep. Fred Hill says there's going to be over 2 inches of rain this morning in Northern California plus snow.
Oh, jeez.
Timothy is asking if you have any airless paint sprayers, not too expensive, work for more than one job.
I don't have any because I don't do a lot of that sort of painting. The really high end ones are pretty pricey, but you can get some good basic ones. Harbor Freight sells a decent low priced one that everyone who I've seen use it works great. PJ Kentucky joined.
Wow!
Woohoo!
Thank you so much. Get off my bell. Bing. You don't know how touch it. Yep, you all saw that. He touched my bell.
Live on video. Anyway, what was I answering before? I forgot now. All right, moving on then. The Joseph says, I like purchasing my tools from big box stores just because of how easy it is to return items. Yeah, I like going to the smaller specialty stores. There's a lot, like going to Cow Ranch or what's some of the other ones? What's the up in Montana, the store we go, Murdoch's, and then the lumber yard up there. They've got it's
Canyon Noble.
Kenyon Noble.
What?
Kenyon Noble, not Canyon. Kenyon.
Pardonnez-moi.
Yeah. So Kenyon Noble's they're a lumber yard, but they have like an exclusive contract with Milwaukee, and you go in there and they have Milwaukee stuff you just won't see on the shelf anywhere else. And then you go over to Murdoch's, and they have an exclusive contract with DeWalt, and it's all yellow wall to wall. And they have stuff you won't see on the shelf anywhere else when it comes to DeWalt. Stuff you won't see at box stores. And also with those smaller places, they're not as big a hassle. The people who work there generally have a better attitude. Not that I don't like... I mean, I go to the box stores all the time, and I buy stuff from them also. But there's something to be said for the smaller stores as well. Especially your local store, which I love buying from them when I can.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of the one.
Riverside Hardware.
Yes, Riverside Hardware.
Riverside Hardware in Livingston, Montana.
Check them out.
If you're going through, awesome. You need to stop in to tell Dan I said hi.
Yes.
Let's see here. Frank says the Icon door was open last week. Oh my gosh! People,
what do you have in there?
I'm hiding stuff or something.
There you go, people. It's still pretty bright though. I kind of don't remember.
I was doing a podcast for the Geek Health. And I was doing a video version of it also, and I just didn't think I just didn't want the tools to distract from that, so I closed it. People are all worried about what I have in there now. Got stacking bodies or something.
Children.
Yeah.
Naughty children.
Trent says Makita sucks. We know what, Trent. It's okay to be wrong, and we can help you get through that.
Joe Smith said, "Don't be ringing your wife's bell on TV." That's right.
Jennifer Whitewolf. Hey, you know what? Speaking of Jennifer, this would be a good time to do a shout out for the mods, Joe Smith and everyone else. Thank you so much for being here. Terry and we got who else? Client Graphics, Bird 718. Bird 718. Haven't seen you in a while. How's it going? Christina Marie.
Daughter of Ra.
So, and what we like to do is we like to ask all you viewers to adopt a mod. They're, not a lot of these mods are sad and they're lonely.
They need help.
Nobody loves them. They need some love from you. And if you like what we're doing here and you like the way the mods help out, what you could do is a lot of them are creators also, is go over to their channel, check out one of their videos, give them a thumbs up just as a way to say hi and say thank you. And that's a great way to share the love and share the support of the entire online tool community. And if you could do that, we would really appreciate it. They're all, trying to create, stuff, good content, just like we are here. I've seen some fabulous content from our mods, and I hope you guys can experience it as well. In fact, also Daughter Raw especially, she has probably the best no content of anybody on YouTube.
Absolutely.
And Jennifer Whitewolf, let's all cheer her on. She's been talking about starting a channel called something like Cutting Things in Half or something. Apparently she's got access to a giant industrial diamond saw. And I want her to do the videos, and I want her to put a big sticker on the saw and call it, say its name is Thanos. You know why? Because diamond saws may not be fast, but they are. Come on, geeks out there, you can finish that one for me. Anyway, moving on.
Your wife's looking at you like you're crazy. Hi, hipsters and hippies.
Barbecue 76 says, Bear, the right side of your face is almost washed out from the light. Probably, you want to turn on one set of those lights? That'd be great. Thank you.
Did you see that?
Come on.
You see what I got?
Get a wiggle on. Is the dust collector from Harbor Freight worth the money? Yeah, it's excellent. There's tons of top tier.
Better?
That's fine. That's perfect. Bounce out the light a little bit. Top tier woodworkers who use that. They do all sorts of like 2-stage mods to it and all sorts of stuff. It's great. Let's see here.
Daughter of Ra sent something to Rodney and to Christina Marie to send her an email at daughterofra1@gmail.com. So shoot her an email.
Fred Hill says, it can't get any easier to return tools than Harbor Freight. Not much. Backwards mechanics in the house. How goes it, man? Let's see here.
Not safe for work, Harold says, at the Den of Tools. So that begs the question, how many insubordinate children can you fit in that icon? Asking for a friend.
I've put at least one in there. I let him out.
Whatever. Like, you can get, like, a tall one in the, this right here. And then you can get, like, a medium-sized one in there and, like, a smaller one down there. I'm just saying, at least 3.
Yeah, we could, because there's the top one, that one, and the side one. We could probably get one of the smaller ones. And then, if
you have, like, a really big one, you can, like, strap it on the top, and there you go.
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle.
Anyone else here a fan of the Delta Unifence? There is no other fence as far as I'm concerned. That is... So it used to be called the Besimir, or Besimir, I don't know how to pronounce it, fence, and then they got bought by Delta. And that's... Yeah. Which is one of the reasons why I recommend that saw for the Delta saw at Lowe's, because it comes with that fence. Are you gonna disinfect something?
I keep reaching to grab my drink and almost drinking some Clorox wipes. So
that'll be tasty.
Yeah.
David Seaver says, after you made the comment, if you worked on like DC-10, then Snap-on makes sense. I checked, and we use a combination of Snap-on and Craftsman. Do you think Lowe's is going to get rid of Cobalt now they brought in Craftsman? There was some concern earlier last year when the whole change started happening, because they were blowing out our Cobalt stuff. I mean, dirt cheap. I know, I bought a bunch of it, and I could not get answers from corporate as to what was going to happen. And honestly, I do think at that time they were planning to phase out the majority of it, and they got such a pushback, and I think they reevaluated. We've seen some stabilization, and now it's almost like they've gone halvesies. Like, there's basically half of what Cobalt used to be, but whatever level you see of Craftsman, there's almost now the same level of Cobalt there. What did get killed off, though, was Porter Cable. Porter Cable's almost completely dead at Lowe's. There's other places, but at Lowe's. Fry TV says, check out the Rodecaster Pro mixer if you're looking for a mixer for your new mics. I'm not looking for a mixer. I'm looking at the Scarlett 212, the 3rd gen Scarlett 212. That way we can run 2 mics. It's a nice audio interface. It will output both lines as separate data to the PC that's recording it. So I don't like the idea of pre-mixing, because I'd rather get raw data to the computer and let the computer do the mixing.
Daughter of Ra, it was all of them. She was asking which kid it was.
Oh, yeah, it's all of them.
All of them. It was a cacophony of Mom and Dad are busy in the other room. Quick, let's act totally like we lost our minds.
But I am looking at the Rodecaster microphones. I found that a great place to pick up cheap microphones is through, of all places, Guitar Center, because they apparently they buy and resell
refurbished ones.
Yeah, as far as new prices, they're not bad, but there's some like great used prices on microphones and other audio equipment through those guys. And they're at different stores, but they have an internal shipping thing, so they can ship to your local store
really awesome.
for free.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Sounds like the library. That's cool. Daughter of Ra says she's not supplying the beer. Okay. That's good to know. Everyone knows she's not supplying a beer.
Best vehicle for a job site carpenter. Well, it will soon be the Cybertruck, because it's a giant battery with an output on it. You can just plug all your tools into it. And the thing just slides up and rolls up and locks. It's got to be probably one, I would say, a diesel version of the Sprinter van. The Sprinter vans, if well maintained, they have great life, and they got a lot of good usable space in them. I don't see why anybody would probably use anything else for something like that.
No, you can go inside and get some water.
Can Bella be in here?
Sure, she can come say hi.
Also, who was that?
That was Griffin.
No, I know who the child was. I read something that was really funny.
Uh-oh.
He said not to panic.
Gentle. Come here.
But that there was a Death Star to your right.
Ah. Oh. Yes, it was this.
Hi.
Oh.
Hi. Oh my! Oh,
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
have
get her.
anything. Oh,
Oh.
nope! You're gonna knock this desk into next
Come
week.
here.
Yeah.
Who's a
Did
good
Daddy
girl?
get you?
Who's a good girl? Are you gonna spaz out and destroy everything? You are, aren't you?
She's probably.
The second I let her go,
Do
she's
you want
like,
me to move the chair?
no, it's fine. I got her.
You're gonna
I
be
got
okay.
her.
You're okay.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
She's okay.
There.
Woo.
See? Oh.
Oh, yep. That would be your phenoggin. Yeah. Okay. We can be not crazy, huh?
No.
Not crazy?
No, we can't.
Okay. In the face.
She's gonna be 13 years old and jumping around like a complete lunatic.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, she's back. Oh, there's too much room.
And we're moving the desk.
That's the problem with this desk I found. There's too much room under the desk.
Okay.
She's like, I like to be under the desk.
She's like, I could probably lay down here. There's like stuff. Maybe you guys have
Lay down.
snacks under here.
Find a space to lay down.
Bella Hound, you're a good girl. You can have my leg room.
I think she needs to go inside.
Okay. Come on, let's go outside.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go outside. We're all excited.
Sorry about that. Labrador break. All right, real quick, let's zoom through this while she's gone. Cunnaman Studios, how's it going? More people need to press the like button. It's good for the neighborhood. Thank you so much. And it does help. It really does. The YouTube algorithm doesn't believe that you really like it when you watch. They want you to hit the thumbs up. They want you to share. If you guys can do that, I would really appreciate it. If we could get up to 300 likes tonight, that's kind of my goal. Is if we can get there, it'll be a good night. It's been a rough day, let me tell you. Everything I've been trying to do just doesn't seem to work, and it's just been terrible. Let's see here. The one thing I am happy about, though, is I did find out that a friend of mine who works over at, let's say, one of our favorite stores, who was going to have to go to China on business, that, heck, I'm going to say it. Eric, the CEO, the owner of Harbor Freight, had people who were about to be sent over to China to oversee all this, because they're ramping up all the stuff with Hercules and everything else. And whereas other CEOs wouldn't even think about it, they'd send them with an extra pack of respirators or something. Eric said, let's put a hold on it and see if this thing blows over and see what's going on before sending. And they're not even going to that part of China. But he thinks about his employees at that level. That says something. That's the complete opposite mindset of somebody who, like, TTI is like, hey, let's build a new business, or let's build a new version of this building. Same thing, does the exact same job. Let's build a new version updated, put all new people in it, and then fire the people who got us here. Those are two completely different schools of thought, and that's another reason why you'll see me being a bit of a fan bear when it comes to Harbor Freight, because I'd like to think that if I was in his position, that's the way I would do things. And seeing somebody who basically breaks the mold from every typecast or stereotype that we see from the typical corporate CEO. I mean, the guy's a billionaire, and he's stopping and thinking, hey, I'm worried about this guy who's, medium level, executive, or even lower level people. I don't want them going over because they might get sick. Because I know other CEOs aren't saying anything like that. Anyway, we read that one. Roddy's like, this is cool. I cast the stream to my TV. It's the only way to do it. And William Logan is in the house. Hit the thumbs up. Terry Rafferty and Brad's Workbench. You look pretty snazzy in that shop apron, by the way. Thank you. I think I do. And how you doing, Brad? How's it going, man? How are things?
Yeah.
Matthew Bean said, hey, Bears. And let's see here.
Joe Smith says, like button for the puppy.
Gray Swan says, Jay Stella from the Ozarks in Arkansas really enjoys the bear and the misses. We got a lot of fans from that part of the country, don't we?
Yeah. Maybe we should go do,
D-Diz wants to know what you're drinking tonight. And where are the Icon screwdrivers? Speaking of screwdrivers, no.
No, it's not a screwdriver. It's diet soda.
Yeah. And I don't know. I have not heard any update on the Icon screwdrivers. And let's see. Terry says, need to start my videos, but don't know how. Any hints?
Which part?
If you've got a Gmail channel or a Gmail account, you've got a YouTube channel, log in, and they make it super easy to record and upload stuff. Just, Brad does all his stuff on his phone. I don't know how he does it. He does it all on his phone. I use a PC for editing. There's free editing software. The stuff I use is free, but it's really high end. It's a horrible learning curve. I would get something a lot more basic, of which I can't recommend any because I haven't really looked at any of the cheap or free basic stuff. But maybe somebody else can chime in with, I know for Mac, there's iMovie. I don't know what the equivalent for PC is these days. They got rid of their movie maker thing.
A couple things real quick. Rodney keeps hitting live chat and it keeps going back to top chat. Why? We have no idea. We have the same issue like half the time.
Mine's on top chat.
Okay. Well, mine is on live chat. Anyways, so also Mr. X, only one Mr. Y, has a question. 2004 Chevy Trailblazers, are they good SUVs? 2004 Chevy Trailblazer.
I'll be honest, I used to have a Blazer, and I haven't followed them since they changed to the Trailblazer because they were just too ugly. I'm not a huge Chevy person in general. The Blazer wasn't bad, but it had no foot room in the back seat. I drove a bunch of guys from San Francisco down to LA, and man, they whined the entire time. There's no foot room, because literally it was to be in there. It was, back then it was a decent sized SUV, and the back seats were literally sitting this far above the floor. It wasn't nice, but I don't know about the Trailblazers. So,
Michael Chesney, I keep seeing your comments, and I just can't read them before they disappear. I think he was making a comment about, do you know how crazy expensive it is to fly someone home from overseas if they get sick?
Yes.
In the States, it's like ridiculous. I mean, flying somebody from one city to another is ridiculous. So flying them home overseas is crazy. And there is special insurance for that. A lot of people who travel from overseas, if they have universal health coverage, they get flown home no problem. So kind of wish that you were somebody else. Anyways, so Michael Chesney, I see a lot of those messages that you are writing, and I am not ignoring you on purpose. I just can't get to them, and then they disappear, and I can't move them. So we still love you. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to ignore you on purpose.
Mina gives us a smiley face star, and Dibrock says use @DataTools. I think it only works with the spaces, not. Actually, you know what? It's funny. It works either way. It works with the spaces or without the spaces. Jay says hello. Let's see here.
Christina Marie says iMovie on your phone is the best on the phone. I'm 100% phone iMovie for editing.
Who said that?
Christina Marie.
Ah.
And she makes great videos, so that's good information. Thank you.
I don't know if I'd say they're great. They're. Oh wait, this microphone's on. They're fabulous.
I'm gonna punch him right in the kisser.
Wallhawk says, "Is Dr. Raw here? I bought a flamethrower today." Nice.
Awesome. I want to see pictures. Pictures or doesn't count.
Mike App says you was talking about your mic. Your next mic will have effects making you sound like other people, like Howard Cosell or Paul Harvey, and that's the rest of the story. I love Paul Harvey. I liked Howard Cosell too. Will the Blue Bear be back? Yeah, he shows up every once in a while usually we're talking about things that are cold or things that keep you from being too cold. Bird 718 says first Sunday I've had off since mid-July. Oh, good grief. And NSF Herald, I think you read that one. Insubordinate children can fit in the icon. Yep. Diamond cells aren't fast, but they are perfectly balanced. No. Why should she call it Thanos? Because they're inevitable. Come on, the part where he goes, I am inevitable.
Okay. Yeah. Christina Marie, I did see your video on menopause, and it was really good.
I was like, did I just read that word right? Great.
Hey, there's all kinds of tool workers.
Yeah, tool guys in here. You might scare us. Start talking about that women stuff. Elkfist says, diamond cells are... Okay, we talked about that. I took offense when you were selling the swampland in Florida. How much for it? Because I need to buy it, turn it into a housing project or a new theme park.
That's right.
Donna Rob, basically it was on that was an @allmod. Send me an email if you haven't gotten added to the thing. Okay. What are your thoughts on the Chief Long Barrel Air Hammer? It looks very nice. That's all I can say. I don't use a lot of air tools, and in my experience, the only people who are really using air tools a lot these days are people who work in big shops, and really they only have a few air tools they use. But the people who have like a fleet of air tools are auto body guys, and auto body is a niche unto itself, and I don't do that.
Wahawk, daughter of Ross, says that her flamethrower is bigger.
And Makita makes fragile tools not suited for an outdoor workplace, and their customer service is beyond. Trent says, "Yes, I know, Trent. We know you don't care for Makita. We'll get you a 12-step program. I know. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I'm glad that you voice yours. I really am, and I'm joking when I say it because I think of us as friends and stuff, and we can kid around because that's the kind of the bear I am, as it were, and." I like to hear feedback because that's how we get beyond just personal experience. Personal experience is nice, but when it comes to truly understanding something, personal experience is incredibly limiting because you have a data set of one.
Ronald Smith says, I really like the new symbol on the shirt that the bear has. When can we get one? Not sure which bear.
What, the new one? I've got an artist working on it right now. He should be back to me any day. As soon as he's done, it's going to take about a week to get it into one of the print shop thingies and have it available. We're changing to a new logo that's going to be a lot more... we're kind of changing the theme. I hope you guys... It's not going to really affect the videos, but it's going to change a lot of the graphics. And it's going to be kind of more sports-oriented. I thought it'd be kind of fun. Kind of making a play off of the Las Vegas Tool Bears. Maybe we'll do like the Livingston Tool Bears. I don't know. We're going to have some fun with it.
Daughter Ross said 0.0 is the time to speak about woman things. That is so right. Mm-hmm.
Michael says, on the subject of microphones, how about a nod to Frank Zappa? Too bad these are expensive. A Telefunken U47. Let's see here. I did a lot of research in the microphones. It's funny because everyone does. Well, Joe Rogan uses the Shure M whatever 7s, and they're great. They're great. They provide a nice flat, even tone. But I kept looking, and I ran across the Rode Podcaster or Podcaster Pro or whatever, and it is. I couldn't tell the difference. In a lot of stuff. If you have a lot of it comes down to having a good audio interface or preamp, because if you have something that's putting out dirty power, you're gonna have a dirty sounding mic.
Dora Noriega says, hi from Paul Sanabria and myself, watching you live, enjoying some, it says common rolls, but I think you mean cinnamon rolls and coffee. Makita rocks. Enjoy the family show with the family. Thank you. You're also back to top chat. Not sure why.
I know. I haven't had a chance. I'm trying to catch up before I change it, because if I change it, I'll lose my history.
Chris says that
makes
he
it
has
hard to change when you keep reading the new stuff.
$150 Harbor Freight gift card burning a hole in his pocket.
Oh my gosh.
What? It's your birthday next week. So nice of him.
Man, what would you get with a $150 gift card? I'd probably hold on to it for the next parking lot sale, to be honest. Yeah. And Michael says, or if you're heading into the ham world, lots of good stuff to adapt to this. Oh yeah, that's I keep saying I'm going to get into the ham radio stuff. Maybe it'd be a good place to sit up at the house in Livingston. That'd be a good, set up that back office as a ham radio thing. Mm-hmm. Speaker microphone, why is the audio so low on your recent videos? I have to crank up the volume compared to the content, or is it just me? No, I think it is you. It's the new video editor that I'm using. I'm still getting a feel for the audio outputs. I don't know. I like it and I don't like it at the same time. Michael says, good dogs get enforced belly rubs. Yes, they do. Whether they like it or not. No, she loves it. It's a fur missile, right. Terry says. She is like that. Yep. She's funny because, a lot of dogs don't like getting hugged or squeezed or stuff like that. Every morning when I come downstairs, she runs to the foot of the stairs and she sits there, she just absolutely shakes until I tell her, okay, you can jump up. And I don't let her jump up on me. I put my arm out like this, and she knows to go sideways, putting her paws over like this. And she gets a big hug and a kiss, and she knows as soon as she gets that one big squeeze that she's good. She takes off, and that's her morning.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Kirk says that looks more like a sphere from Portals 2. Kill it! The cake is a lie. The volume is a bit low tonight. I'm surprised my volume seems low because my volume is getting really close to peaking. She never speaks up. She is a quiet talker. Anyway, Gravis says, I've seen 80-volt Hart trimmer at Walmart. Did you try any of these? No, I have not tried any of the Hart stuff yet. And Jennifer says, back again, Wrangle Star likes his Sprinter van. If mine budget older, I suggest a Ford E250 or E350. And I totally agree with that. Unless you're going to go really old, then get one of the Dodge. We have a late 80s E150. Had to put stiffer springs plus huge sway bars on. And they would know. They handle some. She runs her own small business, and they handle a lot of heavy equipment and stuff. So she would know about that.
Goodbye.
They can't see you there.
Oh, no, I just want to say hi to
Robert says, late here, been checking out the neighbor's 1990 Makita or Miata with 15K miles on it. Ex-Pilot's cars. Oh, that's a tiny, tiny cars. I like to call it a roller skate. Those are fun cars, though.
Speaking of roller skating, we went roller skating.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we did.
No, you didn't.
Oh, no, not ice skating. We went ice skating.
Did you drop him on his head again?
Yes.
Not recently.
Yeah.
Speaking of ham radios, the idiots in California government have stopped supporting ham radios for emergency usage. I can't even talk about California anymore. I'm just done with it. Michael says, bucket of cold water time. Care to guess how expensive it is to... Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Oof. Do you have a personalized license plate like Denatools or Redbeard? If not, why? I don't. And I've never been one for personalized license. I'm not a big one for
we are in the land of personalized license.
Yeah, Vegas during our plates and our cars are registered through our residence because we share time half and half between here and Montana. And it's actually super cheap compared to most states to get personalized plates up there. But I'm just not one of those blingy kind of people. And that to me is just like, I don't wear any jewelry. I don't dress super fancy. I drive a white, pickup truck. I look like any contractor on a job site, honestly. It's I just want stuff to work. I don't care what it looks like. It could be completely look like an entire rust bucket on the outside. As long as it's reliable and drives every day and it's paid off, then that's what makes me happy. Yeah, it would be cool to have something like that, but
quite a number of people are complaining that we are too low. So I can totally understand if it's me that's too low because I don't ever talk loud enough.
Yeah, I'm checking my mic gain. My mic gain there, I've upped it all the way. That's all the mic gain I got. And let's see.
Have a good night, Echo.
Good night. Do you have any insider knowledge when Harbor Freight will start the credit financing? It was supposed to start right about now. My guess is if it happens the first half of the year, I would be surprised. Or I wouldn't be surprised. That's when I was. It's a huge launch. It's not something they're doing because they're coordinating with a major bank to do this. And banks makes glaciers look like cheetahs. All right. Banks never do anything fast. It's all the regulations that go along with it too. You build it, we destroy it. I was watching the show about the Apache. Interesting, the guy putting engine in. New one had snap-on ratchet SK sockets on it, a Proto Mac primer, and an impact sock. Use what works, right, man? Just, people don't want to, I don't want people to be tied into one thing. Semper asks, how do you do the bear animation? I adopted him as a cub and kind of just raised him up, taught him myself. He's a tool bear, so he kind of just does it himself. Let's see here. Bear 1, I missed the notification for the stream going live. No! How'd that happen? And let's see here. DR Falcon's making a food run. Yeah, I'm only eating one meal a day, so. Grimio says, I use my iPhone for everything from videos to the latest Mac, with the Mac using iMovie. Mike Adams says, that's the business model. I think too many companies get so big, forget that watch out for your workers and your workers will watch out for you. That was my dad's way anyway. Exactly. That's a huge thing. Speaking of which, I got a story I'm going to tell you a little bit later in the evening about, somebody remind me around the 9 o'clock hour. I want to talk about CPO. I want to have a discussion. Terry says, I do like I do have 6x10 closed trailer. Just drop the trailer on Friday and hitch it. That's not a bad way to do it. It really is, because then you don't have a dedicated vehicle per se, and you can use that vehicle for other things. That's probably the way I would want to go. Dale says you can still find MS Movie Maker on the net. Yes, you can. Yes, I use DaVinci Resolve 16. I have a problem with it crashing, probably because of my PC. I had to go back to my backup PC, and it's only got 12 gigs of RAM. It's an original i7 950, and I have to close everything essentially to run DaVinci. If I have anything else open, it's going to crash during the render.
Boot said he had to turn it down.
Sorry. DaVinci Resolve is a great video editor for Windows. Blender is pretty good too. I'm not a fan of Blender. Blender is one of those things, like, it's great for animation and doing wiring, which is how you get animation to work. It works for other stuff. I was using it for some CAD stuff. In the end, I had to give up and go back to Fusion 360. Fred says, me and the Mrs. Eagle are looking to going out to Las Vegas for vacation this year, maybe March or April. Love to hear from you. Who was it? Someone was supposed to be here the first week of January, and then we didn't hear from them.
Yep.
I know, you get out here, and it's busy.
It's exciting, and stuff.
And the day goes by too fast. Hold on. Bad Idea Workbench on Linux. KDen Live is a good free option for editing videos. I don't like using Linux as a desktop. I love using Linux as a server or as a dedicated platform. I'm not a fan of the desktop for Linux.
Not safe for work asked what happened with the pumpkin bread. I'm still here. I exist. We have a few that we need to mail out to some of our mods. But nobody ordered any. I would be happy to ship it out. The offer is still there. I still know how to bake. It's still delicious. We're not currently eating any bread, pumpkin or otherwise. Also, when I looked on my phone, apparently a passenger was forcefully removed from Las Vegas to Baltimore with coronavirus symptoms. Yep.
Oh.
So, we're not ones to freak out. We're just monitoring the situation.
Yeah, we almost went to the big parade in Chinatown last night for New Year's. And at the last minute, she just wasn't feeling well. And I'm like, you know what? If you're not feeling good, let's not do it. And so we didn't. And then this morning, after hearing about all the spread and everything, we're like, oh, it was a good thing we didn't go.
Yep.
Shaun of the Dead wants to go best battery/charger platform in the prosumer space. Also thoughts on universal battery adapters, cross-platform batteries together. I think the cross-platform thing is good if you've got like one tool, like, and it really does open that up of like, I love all these tools, but I need this one tool or these two tools this other company makes. I think they're great to have if they work and they're reliable. The best battery in a charger in the prosumer space, that's a good one. They're all kind of like mediocre. That's what I'm kind of thinking about. Like, there's none of them that like jump out at me as like, hey, this one's a really awesome battery, really charged. I mean, I like the Bauer batteries, but they're really bulky, and I'd like some higher end ones. I like the Cobalt batteries. They're almost as bulky, and they've raised the prices on them. They used to be super cheap. They've gone up now quite a bit. A lot of companies have raised prices on batteries. I've never been a fan of the Rigid and or the Ryobi batteries. The Rigid batteries are okay, but there's nothing. They've got some nice chargers with the Rigid. I'll say that. They've got some really good high speed chargers. But I wouldn't get into the Rigid line because I just don't trust the corporate. I think Emerson is the one running the corporate side of things, and I don't trust them. My reaction to Wohawk's flamethrower is that mine is bigger. Oh gosh, we're getting into that conversation. Michael says, not at all bent. At your end of the day stream, you're drinking from the fire hose. Fully understand.
Ooh, that was weird.
Oh, okay. What happened?
It was like the messages all
jumped.
Yeah.
Yep. Wohawk says, I bought the Harbor Freight flamethrower. That thing. I have one of those somewhere. I used it for weeding in like between cement and stuff like that. and for melting stuff. Patrick says this may be more of a request for the missus, but what is the best way to get grease stains out of clothes, or should I abandon all hope? I say Dawn.
Dawn is good. I would say soaking it sooner rather than later. Like if you come home right away, treating it rather than waiting. I also sometimes do like they have like OxyClean, and you can sort of make a paste and put it on there. I also will be the first one to say that I'm not like the magical lady in the laundry room.
Yes, she is. She's lying.
Well, with grease stains. I think also the other thing at our house that's been frustrating me is that children get stains on things and don't tell me.
So you can't pre-treat it?
So I don't pre-treat it, and then I put it through the wash. And I do try to look at it before I put it in the dryer, but...
You don't inspect every single piece of clothing for stains first?
Do you know how many people live here? Based on the amount of laundry that I do, like 74 people live here. There's laundry here. There's laundry going on right now. So that would be my suggestion and recommendation. Dawn is amazing. The other thing actually is if you carry hand sanitizer, putting hand sanitizer on a stain right away will oftentimes help it get out. So yes, that would be my 2 cents. Not Safe for Work Harold says that he sent an email about ordering some pumpkin bread. I responded to 3 people who wrote to me about it, and I never heard anything. We have it pinned.
But you can email her at was it Mrs. DeBear at denatools.com.
So yes, if you would like to order some, I would love to ship it out. Yeah, go ahead and send me an email.
Semper says, I ran across an old video where Red was smoking a cigar. Does he still have some? He does. We just don't use it in the videos anymore. We usually get together and smoke probably 4 or 5 cigars a year. Usually on special occasions or just when, everything's quiet and it's a nice day out or something like that. Don't smoke them all the time. And, we try to keep the channel family friendly. I realized a lot of people were coming here with their cubs to watch, so decided to take the higher road on that one. A lot of people are like, well, you're being, PC. No, just try to set a good example. That's one of the things I kind of gets under my fur. I'm not saying you specifically. It's other people have made these comments. Is that a lot of people don't realize that the way a good society works is when the people who are older, who have experience, step up and become the role models. Not just by the role models, but stepping out and saying something. It's going to sound kind of extreme, but public shaming has a use. There's a reason it exists. It's not just to make yourself feel better. It's to be like, hey, this doesn't work in society when people do this. You shouldn't do this. I talked about the stuff going on with Lowe's, and that's what I did with Lowe's, and that's what I did with that person running that scam on selling Harbor Freight tools. I'm not going to come out and say that there should be a law. I don't want there to be a law. I don't think there needs to be a law. I think that society itself can self-correct when people go, we don't like that. And you always hear these other people going, well, you shouldn't say anything, you shouldn't do anything, and then you find out they're the ones doing it. I had a guy who really tried to take me to task over the reselling thing. He's like, well, that's just business and you don't understand business, blah, blah, blah. Turns out he just sold his business, which sold basically snake oil, sold those like supplemental diet pills made with real spices or real herbs from China and stuff, and had this whole online package and stuff. What a bunch of malarkey that crap is. Sorry, but, and coming from somebody like that, of course he's going to say, well, it's buyer beware, and if you can sell it and somebody pays for it, then that's on the person buying it. Well, yeah, if you're a scam artist yourself, you're going to stick up for other scam artists because you don't want to feel bad about it. I'm sorry. I think that it's the job of the men and women as we get older and more successful. Like, we've got experience, we've done this stuff, and sitting there and saying, no, that's not the way you do that. That's not the way you run a business. That's not the way a polite society behaves. And that's the way it always has been. And there's some idea that now these days that people should shut up and keep their opinions to themselves. And somebody tells me, high and mighty with your ethics. Oh, I'm sorry. Ethics are a problem for you?
Well, I think it also comes down to accountability. People live in a world where they can say a lot of things and that they don't have to deal with the consequences. And we were talking to Cub Scouts the other night, and one of the things we were talking about is rights and duties and things. One of the rights that we have here that other countries don't have is you have the right to your opinion. You have the right to freedom of speech, which is true. But then with that also comes, you have to be responsible for what you say and say, yes, I did say that, and deal with the consequences. So,
well, it's like, you know, you go to New York City and you'll see stuff there happen on the street, and people won't. They may look, but they won't stop. They won't do anything, and they'll just keep walking because, well, you shouldn't get involved. But somebody wouldn't pull that same kind of BS in a small town. They wouldn't pull it in Livingston because they know there'd be 5 guys on top of them. Like I saw a guy yelling at some woman one time. I was in a big city, and he's just screaming at her. You know, you pull that stuff in Livingston, and 3 guys will jump out of a truck and beat the daylights out of you for talking to somebody like that. Even if you have a disagreement, you know, that's fine, but you don't act that way in public. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox before I get lit on fire. Let me get back to these questions. Yeah. Bird says, check out the Audio Technica AT2020. I did look at that one. I've tested it. I don't think it's got as good for just specifically vocals as either the Shure or the Procaster. The bear is hammy enough he doesn't need a radio, Robert says. That's probably
that is
true.
So true.
Oh, David says sorry to hear about Kobe Bryant and his daughter. I am too. And I was sad to hear about Kobe. When I heard his daughter was on board, that was really hard for me to hear. Cedar Hill says, hey, from Tennessee, this is Jeff here. I'm itching for a U.S. General 44 box. Any inside information? Not really. They go on sale from time to time. Check out Harbor Freight Coupon Database for a coupon. Never too early to thank the mods. Didn't we just thank the mods? But we can thank them again.
Yep.
No, now's a good time as any to say a big shout out, thank you to all the mods and everyone there. Anyone you see there with the name's blue with a wrench behind their name, go ahead and check out one of their channels. We call it the Adopt a Mod program because most of them are creators in their own right. Go over there. From Joe Smith all the way down, we got Gramute, Maintenance Man. Hey, Maintenance Man's in the house. How's it going? He did a great video the other day on what was it? He did a test of what was the 2 drill? I just forgot. He did 2. Was it drill impacts he was doing? Anyway, why don't you go and find out? And anyway, glad to see you doing more of those kind of head-to-head tests. Like to see you doing them less in live streams, but that's just me. And anyway, go check out their channel. Give them a thumbs up. Maybe consider liking and subscribing, because when you support the mods, you support this channel, because they volunteer here and they do a lot to help answer questions I can't get to, remind people about the rules of the channel, give people links to stuff that they're looking for, and we really appreciate all their help.
Yeah. And it really is cool. I know he says adopt a mod, and it sounds very catchy, but it's true. Like, you really can learn really cool stuff. So check them out, subscribe. Definitely Daughter of Ra. She has no content. It's amazing. You should still subscribe. Anyways, yeah, she said, if you adopt me, I just need veggies and the internet access, and I am set. So yeah. Anyways, check our folks out. They're awesome.
Elkfist asks if I'm a ham radio operator. What's your call sign? I am not. I have studied to take the test, and I never got around to actually going and taking the test. It's one of the few test certifications that I've actually done and then not followed through from. It's like the only one. Michael says custom license plates. I have a Lulu. It's one of the few deliberate insults that got past the Virginia censors. Bear One says, "Hey Bear fam, I was on Quite the Great Bear Adventure yesterday. My paws are still hurting." Yes, he was going round and round getting footage. Which, by the way, Bear One there, he did some store shopping for us. Basically, shop with me at stores that I can't get to, and I would like to openly invite anybody else who wants to become a cub reporter. Get it, cub reporter. For the Den of Tools, if you want to do a shop through in a store that I can't get to, please feel free to do so. Shoot me an email at red@denoftools.com, and I can give you a link for a folder to upload it to, and I'd be happy to share your videos of the store walkthroughs because there's only so many places I can get to. So, not really looking for Home Depots or Lowe's. Everyone always likes to see a local Harbor Freight, so we're always looking for those. But, the lots of different, like, the Tractor Supply style stores, there's a lot of those. There's a lot of regional hardware stores. Any mom and pop hardware stores, we'd love to cover them. If there's a cool specialty store in your area, I'd love to cover that too. Trent says, true, my opinion experience is anecdotal, still Makita sucks.
Again, we're all entitled to our own opinion, right?
I wonder if he and Chaka get together on this.
Robert says, and I know he's talking to Jennifer Whitewolf, but I did read it. It says it's blown out of proportion. The flu is much worse here in the U.S. than the coronavirus is. That is correct. The coronavirus has not taken hold here in the U.S., which is great, and the flu does kill people every year. There are some things I would just recommend that people do their research. The coronavirus can survive for 5 days outside of its host on surfaces, which is not like the flu. So just, everybody has to do their own research and decide what works for them.
You still need to speak up because nobody can hear you.
Just take care of yourself, do your research.
So the reason the microphone thing is being an issue, I just realized this, is it's about 8 inches further away than it used to be. And that's because the new desk I had before just had 4 straight legs. So I was able to get it all the way over closer to the stand I was using, the mic is clamped to. But now this desk has straight legs on the outside, so it gets stopped by the foot that it's against. Hence, it's further away. I'll have it adjusted for the next podcast, but for tonight, that's kind of where we're stuck where we are. I will try and ask her to speak louder.
I will try to be louder. I like how I'm talking to the camera and not to the microphone. That's helpful.
Trent says political correctness makes people stupid, and the only thing worse than nationalism is globalism. Bear says the rules for the not for me crowd are going to drive us into oblivion. That's for sure. Patrick says, would you recommend a dash cam? Do you think they are worth the money? I think everyone should have a dash cam. It is some of the cheapest insurance you're going to get to prevent yourself from having to pay through the nose or your insurance and have your premiums go up. I'm doing a video right now. I was waiting for one more cable. I have 6 of them. Dash cams in my car right now, all lined up. I was waiting for this cable to come in, which came in yesterday. So I will have, hopefully by this Thursday, a big old dash cam video. It's going to take so much editing. So much editing.
Shaka, $2.
Shaka.
Stop with my phone. You were obsessive compulsive.
Shaka.
Says, no, I think Makita is pretty good, but Ryobi sucks. So, ding, 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 ding. Thank you so much, Shaka.
It should be like Ryobi sucks and Heart blows.
Nice. Joe says, we can hear the wife. We just don't listen. LOL. Just kidding. Yeah. Joe. That's something you don't say to the wife.
Yeah. What was that one? My wife says I don't listen to her or something. I don't know what she was saying. Gary P says, hey guys, from my local Walmart last night, all the HyperTough tools were deeply discounted and Heart tools were everywhere. They've been running a big discount on the sets of the HyperTough tools since Christmas. Mike says, for the one asking about the 44 US General, they're all good quality boxes. I was at Harbor Freight today. I think they have them. Mike, you're totally right. And I'm sorry, I just assumed that everyone knows that it's a quality box. It's a solid, the 44 is a solid as a rock box. Just because it's smaller, which means that you get more, more angles per square foot, which adds to the rigidity. Ron says, join up, get a bear behind your name. For the cost of a sandwich, cup of drink, stick of gum, you can support the channel so we get some good tool tip stations and some insights. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Ronald. I really appreciate that. Bear One says, I'm getting my Harbor Freight sometime soon. Gotta be at the right time. It's been busy every time I've gone, so which is great that they're busy. Also, my great manager's on vacation. I understand that. If you do decide to do a video, do try to go one that's a little bit slower. Make sure you're not accidentally picking up audio of people that are there. I messed up and got part of someone's phone number. I had to go back and edit that out. So, it's something you want to be conscientious of.
Yep. And in the beginning, You're working it out.
David says, thanks for giving me something to look forward to on Sundays now that football is almost over. Semper says, do you cover Northern Tool and do they have a good store brand? The Northern Tool, I don't cover them. They're one of the stores that there's just not one in my area. I do talk about them from time to time. If I see a big sale, I'm on their mailing list. But I can't really personally say, hey, these people are great to deal with or any of this other stuff because I've just never had a chance to go in and see what the store's like. That's why I rely on you guys. And often I pass information I hear from you on to everyone else. Curtis says, hey, Bear, you said there was a site that you used for Whole Tools. What was the name? I thank you. Whole Tools?
If anyone knows how to translate that, sometimes...
Home Tools? I don't... Usually my mental spell checkery thing is, or typo thing is pretty good, but I don't know what that one is. I'm pulling a blank on it. Who's home? I don't know. As for your current microphone, can you place the pickup between the two of you? No, I can't. It would make a bunch of noise and moving, and it's a big thing right now, but
we are working on it. We are aware that it is not perfect.
Robert says Hoover sucks.
Yep.
Jennifer says Russian traffic videos are a hoot.
They are. The music in those are also pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You should check those out.
I was an early adopter of the dash cams. Back when I had to order them directly from China because you couldn't buy them here. The instructions came in Chinese. I had to fight with it to get it to work. I got it to work, and 2 weeks after I had it going in my car, I got hit in a parking lot. And the guy jumped out of the car screaming that it was my fault and I was an idiot, blah, blah, blah. And I pointed to my dash cam and said, you're an idiot and you're on camera. And I caught you speeding through the parking lot and ramming into me on purpose. And he's like, I wasn't on purpose, and I'm really sorry. I was just in a hurry, and I wasn't paying attention. Just tone changed immediately as soon as he knew he was busted. And that's why I say you need those microphones, or those cameras.
Wholesale. Thank you. Barbecue76 said he was trying to say wholesale. And $2 super chat.
Thank you.
Ding, ding, ding. Thank you, Joe Smith. I also see that you're saying wholesale tools.
All right, we're going to talk about CPO. I'm going to answer that in just a minute. Let me catch up with the rest of these, and then we'll answer that one. My wife said, "You're listening to me." That's an odd way to start a conversation.
That is so true.
Sorry if you covered already. Milwaukee Tools is going to build a $100 million multi-purpose campus in Menominee Falls. That's cool. Went to Walmart, ran into Dad. We went and saw the new Hart display. Previous B&D was really disappointed by the $55 price. Yeah, the prices are kind of high on a lot of the Hart tools. I was really surprised. Yeah, and don't forget, I'm going to be a special guest on Joe Smith's After Dark series coming up. So be sure to check that out. I'm going to be people are always asking me about what my background is, and he's going to interview me, and we're going to do the whole 9 yards. You can find all the skeletons in my closet. Trent says, mono price for cables and electronics. Yes. In fact, this is a mono price cable. D. Brock says, site you bought the heated jacket at. They had CPO. We're going to talk about them. Let's see, I was looking at the vacuums at Harbor Freight for any good ideas I have for my motor saw. Are they decent quality? They're not bad. And the new one, the Rigid, not Rigid, the Bauer. I think Rigid because that's what people always say for shop vacs. And I was looking over there because that's where my Bauer one is. I have the Rigid one in Montana. I've got the Bauer one here. I got a video coming up on that. I think they're as good, if not, I mean, for the price, they're definitely great. Let's see here.
George asked if you ever been to North Dakota thinking of moving to Fargo.
Oh, yeah. We went to Bowman 2 years ago. Yep. So we haven't been through a lot of North Dakota. She's got family up there. Yeah, I have family. It's a great place in the summer.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. Don't go to the park at Bowman because there's a lady across the street that will yell at you about your dog. Yep.
Where's the best place to go get drill bits? What are the best kind of bits for drilling through hardened materials? No, that's the kind of thing I don't memorize. I have to always look at my little notes for that kind of stuff. For hardened materials, there's different bits, different kind of metal you want to get for the different sorts of steels. Like if you're going through just a hard steel versus going through a stainless steel. Also, you want to make sure you got bimetal versus what is the other one? There was I'm drawing a blank on it. I don't drill through a lot of ultra hard metals. Can you tell?
Nope.
Someone's home.
Yep.
All right. Anyway.
I'm gonna go check on the I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
Or I should say, I'll be right back.
After these messages?
Yep. Brought to you by our not sponsors.
Let's see here. What was I just saying? Wally World has the Heart toolboxes. I saw the price and didn't look at it any further. I haven't seen the new Heart toolboxes. Anyway, so now I caught up. I can switch to live chat. And we're going to talk about CPO and wholesale tools. So I did a whole video on wholesale tools not too long ago. You should check that out. If you're in the TTI lineup, you should definitely look at, what is it? I just completely spaced on it. What's the TTI place? Starts with a D. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, somebody will chime in here with it in just a second, I'm sure. And then let's see. Oh, as far as drill bits, I'm a big fan of Bosch. For like the nicer, the higher end stuff. I use the cheap Harbor Freight stuff for all the cheap stuff. And I also use that for any of the kind of sketchy stuff where I'm afraid I might break a bit. I just can't remember the name of that TTI distribution place. Direct Tools Outlet. Thank you. Past the Spider comes up with. So Direct Tools Outlet for TTI. And for everything else, let's see here. I would normally have said that CPO would be the place to go. And I'd recommended them in the past based on some information that I had that had been given that people had talked to me about that had great experiences. And then I went and tried them and had not a great experience. I had a pretty bad experience. And I did a video on it and recommended that if you do buy from CPO, that you buy. They have listings also on eBay and on Amazon. And if you buy through CPO through one of those other ones, then you're protected because if you have an issue, you can go to Amazon. If you have an issue, you can go to eBay rather than having to wait on and see if CPO comes back on it. So, if you've been following the CPO thing, I got a phone call. I got a phone call from somebody fairly high up at CPO. Whoop, sorry, guys. I got a phone call from someone fairly high up at CPO. And I'm going to tell you this. So I got an email from someone saying that they want to have a conversation with me. They'd like to have a phone call. They heard about all the problems I've been having. They'd like to have a phone call. And children just don't have a clue, do they?
They're children.
Anyway, so the email said, I want to have a conversation with you. I heard about the problems you have that I like to think they're not indicative of the kind of business we're trying to run. We don't want to have that experience here. Can we have a phone call? And he said, also, secondly, I'd like to refund you the price of the jacket, just as a way of saying we're sorry because of everything we put you through. And I said I'd be happy to talk to him. And I didn't say anything about the jacket, about the refund or anything else. I figured we'd talk about it when we had the phone call. Scheduled the phone call for 3 days after that email. The next day, I get a refund, full refund through the bank account. So I am now out exactly zero for the jacket. They've refunded everything. I basically didn't pay for the jacket. And I did get also a notification from Milwaukee that finally in fact, he said he wanted to follow up on the Milwaukee thing, and right as I got that email from him, I got an email from Milwaukee saying that I'd gotten approved for the e-rebate program so that we're getting the battery. I just want to put this all out there so you guys know everything. I'm being as transparent as possible. And then we had a phone call, and he did ask that it be off the record. He's not a PR or marketing person, so I definitely agreed to that. I did make sure up front, I asked him if he did know who I was. Besides my name, do you know that basically I'm a YouTuber and I cover the tools? He said he was aware of that. He'd seen some of the videos. He's not really sure about the whole online thing. I said he's not a marketing person. He deals with the customer service side. We talked for about an hour, and I gotta say it was a great conversation. It was a really good conversation where I heard a lot of things that gave me hope about the company. And you could say, well, that's because they refunded your money. Yeah, you could say that if you want. That's even if you refunded my money and they didn't do anything, and he didn't answer questions the way I wanted, I would have told you that. The other thing is, I'm not sitting here saying that you should immediately run to CPO and start buying from stuff. In fact, I would say don't. I would say if you are going to buy from CPO, still go through Amazon, go through eBay, because he said stuff I wanted to hear, but they haven't fixed. I mean, there's still a problem. They're just now finding out how bad that problem is. Now, one of the things that when I was talking to him, and I'm going to mention, that did crop up in my head is because I had this as a part-time job. You guys have heard me say, I've always had like second, 2 and 3 jobs and stuff. So years and years ago, back in my very early 20s, over the holidays, I got a part-time job as you said, over the holidays, working at Federated Department Stores in their mail and phone division. Yes, this was back before everyone had computers and would order stuff on websites. The internets. You need to scoot closer. Not only do I like having you closer, but people can't hear you. Here, we can sit like this. There
like
we
we
go.
like each other.
Don't
Crazy.
Don't tell my wife I'm sitting here with the princess. Anyway, so I'll move that over there. So I worked in the mail and phone division over the holidays, and it was temporary stuff. They bring people in to ramp up for the holidays. Then after the holidays, they let most of them go. They keep a few people. And I had this thought of, I bet there was a good chance that the people I was dealing with might have been holiday hires. And I did ask him if they do holiday hires, and he did admit that they do holiday hires. It's something they have to do every year. And so I have a feeling that might have been, because when you have even if you have a great culture, if you have a huge inrush of people who have not been culturalized, they haven't been brought in slowly and brought up and basically bought into your culture, then you're going to have that kind of like one-off here and there. But as I said, this was systemic to me because it happened at every level. And, well, I guess except for the executive level, because the executives fixed it. But one of the things I did talk about was that we had noticed as a community that that CPO used to have good customer service, and then a few years ago, 3 to 5 years ago, it started going downhill and has been rapidly going downhill since, and that something seemed to have changed. And in doing some research, I found out that CPO had been bought by a Fortune 500 company about 5 years ago, and it takes about 2 to 3 years for that kind of purchase to really settle in and start really affecting the culture. And what I didn't know was that apparently they also got sold again. So a large company bought them, and then a larger company bought the company that bought them, and then started parting them out, because the bigger company bought the parent company of CPO, but they didn't buy for CPO. They bought for that parent company. And so then CPO's kind of been set off to the side and allowed to do kind of their own thing. And this new company is private. And the problem, I've been openly critical of publicly held companies because you can't do any long-term planning. You can't do that kind of stuff where, like, we're not going to make money now because we're going to make more money later by doing this. You got to make next quarter. And it really wears a company out, and it really kind of destroys. That's what's going on with Lowe's. It's what happened to Home Depot. And anyway, the short takeaway from this is, I think that there's potential there. I'm seeing potential, especially from what I heard from this guy. If they follow through on it, they have an opportunity, because now that they're private again, to make these kinds of changes to put the customer first. It sounds like that's what they want to do. I'm not coming out here to say, hey, they fixed it, it's all good. Not saying that. All I'm saying is, don't write them off entirely. Keep an eye on it. We're going to be following up. I want to hear more experiences from anybody who shops from them, because some people are going to keep shopping from them. We had people saying they liked it. If they're going to keep shopping from them, they're still happy. If some other people try it because the price is right and they go through the other ones and they keep working, then we'll get another opinion. And maybe as the year progresses, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's my takeaway on it. That I wanted to share.
David Fry says, stop moving.
You're supposed to be reading your side.
I'm reading your side.
Read your own side.
Mind your own business. So, David
This isn't
says he lives in Wisconsin and he's looking for a good heater for garage. Your thoughts? We did a video. He did a video.
I like this one right here.
Well, but are you going to send me to Wisconsin to snuggle him? So that's not going to work out.
I will, though.
Yes, I am. He's available for rent weekly.
No.
But yeah, you did a video
last year about this same time.
Mm-hmm.
I did a video on shop heaters, and a lot of people don't believe me that you can get by with a little what are they called? These little induction kind of not induction. They're infrared cell heaters, and a straight infrared heater won't work because a straight infrared heater needs to heat something else. Well, these other ones, they have this channel they put the air through and they push air through it and they bounce the heat off of another surface and that heats it up and that's how you get the heat out. And they're great. And they got nice little remote controls. And are you going after a whisker or something?
No, be a red thing.
Red thing. Anyway, and you can pick them up for between $40 and $100. I particularly have a fondness for the ones that look like fake fireplaces just because I like the kind of warm kind of feeling.
He really does.
He really do.
He really does. When we look at RVs, he's like, look, it has a fireplace. And I'm like, yeah.
I'm one of these people that I don't like to see my tech if I can help it. I like the natural, the wood look, the old school kind of things. I like those. And the older you get, you'll find you probably go that same route too. It's one of those things about getting older.
That's right. I'm pimping out the
yes. Mike says, I'm thinking of using 2 hoses for the exhaust side of the vac to the top of the saw box and suck on the bottom for continuous airflow for dust collection. It's going to take me a while to process that picture and figure out what's going on there. Maybe draw me a diagram. I can't. It's Sunday night and my brain's fried from trying to figure out this podcasting stuff. Why is podcasting much more complicated than putting out videos? Why?
Javier Estrada said, I fixed my sink on Monday. It was a broken valve and the lever wouldn't close. It wouldn't close. It would make full circles. Oh, that's not good. Yay for fixing it.
That's great. I still got to fix our kitchen sink.
I know. It was, yeah.
Robert says, picked up a quarter drill from Direct Tools, chuck jaws stripped on the first bit change, took it to exchange, and the guy said, what's wrong, like he was used to bad new ones.
I have a gift for Dad from hand-rolled.
Hand-rolled, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he needs to use those.
That's really cool.
From the cigar factory, Trez...
You have some corn chips?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're going to take a shower.
No.
I gotta get my eyeball here.
No, you didn't say Simon says.
3 semanas.
Simon says you need to take a shower. Family friendly. Cigar boy.
Arrgh. Need to get me some bourbon and I'm gonna sit out back and let's see here. Yeah, I mean, bad stuff does come out of Direct Tools from every so often, but they're usually pretty good about taking care of it. That's always going to be the case when you deal with refurbished stuff. There's always going to be a slightly higher than average thing, but there's a reason we do it for the price. I just posted a thing about that Snap-on, and I posted a link to Acme's got a refurbished top-of-the-line Fuel Milwaukee drill for $110. That's why you try refurbished. Wow, cool says, thinking about buying the Yukon box, the one with all the drawers. Any thoughts? Yeah. I would look at the Husky one. It's deeper, as in like the depth away from you, and it's the same price. I think it's a little bit lower, which for me, I actually kind of like one's a little bit higher because I'm 6'2". But for some of you shorter personages, no. I mean, I can make do with it.
Short.
You?
I am 5'6".
You
If I stand
in
up
your
straight.
dreams.
I'm 5'6".
And wear heels. Let's see here.
I'm 5'6".
Used to be 5'6".
Till I
Had children. Expert Gamer says, I got a DeWalt 172-piece tool set, and it's very nice and quality tools for a reasonable price. They're not bad. I'm not a huge fan of them, but they're not bad. That's one of those like personal taste kind of things. Joshua says Project Farm did a very good drill bit test. Includes Bosch and Harbor Freight Bauer. He did, didn't he? He did one recently. Mm-hmm. Trent says, I wish the customer service at Makita was as good as your experience with CPO. That, I will say this. Makita has, for a long time, kind of written off the U.S. market, and they're definitely making a push back in, as is Bosch, and and of course, HPT Metabo now. And You Build It, You Destroy It says, there you go. Mark Singer, Mittens Romney, George Soros, Warren Buffett can screw up molten gold spring because the gold is taking too long to cool in the bars. Okay.
Yep. Bear One, yes, I did get the email, and I did see the progress on your workshop. I will make sure that you check it out.
Okay. Anthony says, hey, Red, thanks for all the hard work you do. You're truly an awesome YouTuber. Thank you so much. That means a lot to us. Elkfist, cigars are family friendly. Cigars are classy and gentlemanly.
I like the word gentlemanly.
I like it. Maybe I should start smoking a pipe.
No.
No? No. I'm not a pipe kind of guy.
I love the way that pipes smell.
Pipe smoke does smell pretty good, but
pipe tobacco smells really good.
Michael says, kids, time to fade to black. Have a pleasant evening. You too.
Good night.
You take care. And Rail says, I hate machining stainless steel. I'm not too sure I know anybody who's fond of it, actually. People are like, keep looking at that Cybertruck going, well, why is it like that? I'm like, have you tried bending stainless steel?
Matt R. says that he was at work recently watching our computer rebuild, and he assumes that you got everything back up and running okay.
Yeah. I think it's actually a bad motherboard at this point. Yeah. I'm not getting any, but like I take it out, and I've got just the board, just the RAM, just the processor. It's got onboard video, so I'm not even using a video card, and I don't even get post. So, no beeps, nothing. It powers up, stays powered up for about 30 seconds, goes into a reboot cycle. It's all sorts of awesomeness. But that's what I keep saying. Sometimes you just get bad out of the box. It just happens even with the best. And this is probably it's definitely the most purchased and most recommended board for this build.
Jeff says it's snowing in Bozeman.
Woo!
Stay south until at least April.
No one can hear you when you talk like that.
Anyways, Tim said Mrs. the Bear is sleepy. I don't know why I'm yawning so much, but apparently I am. Sorry. Really?
Up.
Really? I'm going to bite you.
She's not even joking. Nova Stick says, I looked at the Yukon and I agree with Red, go Husky. And it's funny because I used to say go with the Yukon over the Husky, but Husky saw they had a problem and they were losing that, and they upped their game. Well, I mean, Home Depot did, because it's a Home Depot brand.
I'm going to check on the littles again.
My armrest left.
Don't worry, she'll be back.
Are you going to bring back adult beverages?
No. None's for you.
Service in this establishment has gone downhill rapidly. Let's see here. Frank says, I replaced my faucet in one of my bathrooms and rolled out my Tecton open wrenches. I needed a 23 millimeter and my set went to 22. Off to Myers. Went all fixed. Oh, that's got to be frustrating as all heck. Especially, I mean, with Tecton, man, I got like the socket set, and I've got the a set of those little the socket holder thingies. What do you call it? That's got the little posts you set it on, and mine doesn't go high enough. I've got like 8 extra sockets that go off the end that it can't handle. Terry Raffizer, I'll send you a smoking jacket for you. All right, there we go with the $2. I wanted to come out with a version, the thing they have, the Snuggie. I wanted to come out with a version of that was made like a red smoking jacket, kind of like with the big wide lapel on it and stuff. And I wanted to call it the Snug Bastard. So That's my marketing idea of the day. And wife makes a bear rug. She keeps threatening it's going to happen one of these days. Barbecue 76, before I forget, thanks for telling the masses about the BS. Now I'm going to have a hard time grabbing a deal. Oh, family. Family channel. Brickseek's a guy. I've talked about Brickseek. I've talked about them before. In fact, they sponsored a video last summer. And a lot of people, don't worry, because a lot of people here, they don't get it. They get frustrated. They go, well, I looked on Brickseek and it wasn't there. You have to be right there. I can get the people watching the video 2 days later and they're like, well, these deals are gone. This, what did they say? This is fake news. These deals are gone. I'm like, no, you're slow and you missed it. When you find those killer deals, you don't go a day later. You don't go hours later. You go right then. Let's see here. Randall asks, are Porter Cable and Cable Shop Vacs good? Porter and Cable Shop Vacs good. I can get one from the Habitat for Humanity store for $45. I have never used a Porter Cable Shop Vac. I've never seen a Porter Cable Shop Vac used, so I can't really say. It's made by Stanley Black & Decker. They make DeWalt. They make Black & Decker. They make Craftsman. Shop vacs are one of the things that I would have a problem with buying used because they're one of those things that are such a necessity that people seldom get rid of. And when they do, it's usually because they have a problem. There's a lot of things I will buy used. I don't know about shop vacs. And you also don't know what they vacuumed up with it, which is that they vacuumed up, say, they were doing demo that had toxic mold in the drywall. Well, now guess what? Now you've got a shop vac that's going to be blowing that out right where you are. So, and for $45, you can get some pretty decent ones on sale for around that kind of price. Daughter Ross says, I prefer no smoking whatsoever. Says the woman with a flamethrower.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I gonna have? What I'm hearing is I have to regulate. What have you done?
She
now?
said she prefers no smoking whatsoever.
Yeah.
Talk about a hypocrite. She's the one with the flamethrower. She says people shouldn't smoke.
Whatever.
Half the time the smoking's because of her.
Cherry says, I'll send a smoking jacket for you. $2. Ding, 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 ding. Daughter Frost says, get your own adult beverage. That's right.
But I'm the talent. Is that all vodka?
No, it's water.
Woohoo! I'm pouring you into the bedroom tonight. Before you toss the motherboard, try a different power supply. I already went there. Barbecue 76. Damn thumbs was gonna say it was good. It's a good source, but I hate the resellers that grab stuff. Yes, I am not a fan of the resellers. In fact, you watch a lot of my videos, I'll even comment like, hey, I'm telling you these deals, but please don't be reselling them. You know, go and get them for yourself. Save them for other people who want to save some money.
Gifts. Give them to people.
Yeah, that makes a good, we do that. Bear One, switch to my computer, watch the stream, sending over pictures of the workshop now, full kit and caboodle. Start a new email chain with you. Thank you, because it's getting kind of long. Does the bear drink bourbon with you? Yeah, that's because she won't touch the stuff, so I have to drink it with someone. Another reason not to like Makita fanboy AVE potty mouth. Does he like Makita now? It is. I swear that man watches this channel. It is whatever we talk about. I think he watches the live streams because whatever we talk about in the live stream seems to be on like his next series of videos. I've been calling Snap-on and the Gucci for mechanics for a long time. And somebody sent me a link of him calling Snap-on Gucci for mechanics. I was talking about everything I started talking about. Like the next week, he's testing it, which is fine. It's fine. It'd just be nice if he gave us a shout out and admitted that where he gets his ideas.
Yes, I will be selling a bear rug next Sunday. That's right.
And and that's the funny thing we talk about Makita is because I said for the longest time that Makita doesn't get talked enough about on YouTube. And we started that conversation here. And now everyone's talking about Makita. For such a small channel, we seem to have a good impact.
Barbecue 76, grab an adult beverage. I'm ready to have one with us.
With. Are you from the
Cincinnati.
No, Midwest.
Same.
You want to go with? Like Chicago, Wisconsin area kind of thing.
Thank you so much, Barbecue 76. And Anthony, is it Augusta?
With
Thank
the $10
you so much.
coming in
$10.
big.
Bing, 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 bing. Thank you so much.
You gonna dance too? Do a little
No.
dance.
It's a family friendly channel. I don't think.
Shake a little rug.
No. Yeah.
Get
shake
down
it.
tonight. Anyway, more help for the new microphone fund. Hopefully that can happen soon.
Yes.
Randall says, I believe the vacuums are new. At Habitat for Humanity? That's great, man.
Wow.
That's a heck of a deal. I don't know if anybody could chime in, though, because as I said, I've never used I don't think I've seen in person a Porter cable shop vac. I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember seeing one.
I'm going to Google one because I'm one of those people that's visual. Like, he'll be like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, show me a picture.
Yeah.
And then I usually find it.
Dodge 610. Icon or Husky. Want to get a box like yours. Need one with a hutch this time around. Are you in a workshop where people are going to steal tools? Because if you are, I get getting the hutch because you can just shut it and lock it. If you're not, it's very confining compared to just having an open workbench. That said, I mean, I like them. I love this box. It's a beautiful box, and I love it because I can work here. I'll do a lot of stuff on the work table here, which is why I got this one, because now if I need to do like electronics, like I'm rebuilding an old CPAP machine. I've got it torn apart, waiting for someone to pick up some super glue.
I picked it up today.
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks. And
yeah, he doesn't have legs or arms or the ability to go to a store. So,
but if I want to stand up and use like a workbench, I can crank it up and do that, and I can just pivot. And I've got all my tool storage right here, easy at hand. I can just slide it open and whatnot if I get my freaking cables out of the way. Oh, speaking of, I love to give you guys little insider views of stuff that's coming up. So if you remember that flashlight company.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, speaking of flashlights. So I posted that thing on the community page about the Coast flashlight, and a bunch of people responded with that it was junk, it was crap, it wasn't bright, you could get more lumens out of rubbing two sticks together, all this stuff. Not a single person there. Two or three people chimed in with, guys, it's an inspection flashlight. If you use a high power light, you're not going to be able to see what you're inspecting. It's like with this light. If I shine it over here, you can see like the stuff in there. There's some reflection, but you can see it. Now if I shine this light, if I turn that one off,
Okay.
you can't see anything. Why? Because it reflects. This is for finding, illuminating really bright areas in a tactical sense. That's what this is the one from Olight that they sent us. This thing is pretty intense. It's got the little tactical ring on it and everything. Terry says, Night Bears mods members almost go to work. Put gremlins back in the cages. Thank you so much, Terry. You rock.
Thank you so much, Terry. Bing, 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 bing. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I'm still hearing the ringing.
It's all right. I'm still blinded by your friggin' flashlight.
This thing is so bright that if you close your eyes, it still hurts. I know, I tried. But anyway, so what I was saying about the other one is there's too many people. I was going to do this whole thing about, don't be a Tim the Toolman Taylor. Where everything needs more power, more power, more power. Be an Al. Use the right tool for the job. That it's an inspection, flashlight. It's not a pocket tactical light for lighting up the darkness. It's so you can actually see in an engine bay or an electrical panel things that are metal that if you have a bright light will reflect and you won't see the details. And then you'll electrocute yourself and you'll be a crispy critter.
Which is not what we're going for. We're not going for crispy critters.
No.
We're going for fixing things.
Yes. But anyway, Elkfist, but I'm the talent, and that's why Mrs. Bear will be selling bear rugs next.
I know, I said that. That's right. I'll be selling you.
So anyway, I want to show one of the cool features. You guys get to see this ahead of the video. One of the cool features that are it's cool and it's also a negative. So this has got a rechargeable battery in it. And it's not an 18650, it's an upgrade. But I'm going to save that for the video. This is the charging cable. USB on this side and this little disc. And when you get them close, it does that. Because there's two rings here. One's to the positive, one's to the negative. And when this gets snapped on there, it automatically connects. That's super cool. Super convenient. Except if you lose this, you're foomarred. I get it would not be as cool as if they put a little USB port in it so that you could just plug it in. But then you could have any cable would work. It's both a super cool feature and something that's going to possibly limit the usefulness because now there's only one port where you can charge it. I really like it. It's really cool. But
it kind of reminds me, the way the battery charges and stuff reminds me of cochlear implants, if anyone has ever seen that.
Yeah.
Not that that's a good or a bad thing, just what I thought. Jarrett Varholic said, I was the one that commented on the use of an inspection light. I work at an aircraft component repair shop. The FAA will fail you if you have a non-inspection light. More power. Mrs. Bear, use the gong for this one. Barbecue 76. Okay, everybody cover their ears.
Oh, you went lightweight on that.
I did.
Okay. No, it's fine. I was just, you're like, more power. It scared me.
That's what Barbecue 76 said.
Anyway, let's see here. The character limit wouldn't let me say you. Let's see here. Mike Adams. I'm thinking the box curved at the back of the saw. Hose from the vacuum's exhaust side mounted to the top, blowing the dust into the hose as if the dust hits flowing water. Okay, I can see that. I know that a lot of them, unless it's like one of the really high-end saws where that vacuum port really works, on all the other ones I've just given up. And what I would recommend more than anything else is building a catch system at the back of the saw just to kick all the sawdust into, and then have it come down to a single chute that the vacuum is attached to. That, for me, with a miter saw, which is probably one of the dirtiest tools you could use, is the way I would do it. If you got to check out, what's his name? Make Something. Used to be Drunken Woodworker. He has, he came into some money and he redid his whole shop. They bought a new house. He built a whole new shop and he put carpeting down. And I thought he was just stupid. I mean, I like him. I've met him. We've talked. We got schnockered together. He's a nice guy. I like him a lot. But I thought he was off his rocker with this. And he proved us all wrong. He proved you can have a shop with carpeting and it's not that hard to take care of. And he has all kind of dust collection solutions you could ever hope to do. So go over there and follow him. He's really good on it. I'm definitely one of these guys of, I'd rather, sweep it up or, take it off the floor kind of thing. It comes from doing a lot of work in the food industry also. Like working in commercial kitchens, you just basically brush everything off the floor and then sweep the floor up and get ready to party, letting your hair down. Woohoo! And on the job site, that's also the way we would do stuff. Basically you don't take time. And then at the end of the day, you just sweep it all in the corner and vacuum it up from there. But it's funny because, what's his name? Stubby Nubs or whatever, who almost nubbed one of his stubs. They got a new shop recently and he was inspired by Dave because he's got back issues also. And he did the whole carpeting thing and it's working out great for them too. I just am astounded to see these people. Now, for a lot of us who like to use things that spark, these guys are hardcore woodworkers. I wouldn't recommend doing the sparky stuff in the carpeted areas.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned that the pokey part is a DNA collector, which is true.
Yes, it is.
Should you need to use it? Yeah.
We call it compliance enforcement.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that. Oh, yes, you are. The kids asked me to show them how it worked. They didn't like me showing them how it worked. Let's see here. AVE would marry a Makita tool if it was legal. I've always seen him he's always big into the Hilti and Metabo and the other I've never really, I don't watch much of his stuff these days. I watched him way back in the day. Although I did see the stuff he did on the Snap-on 14 volt, and all I gotta say is I told you guys that stuff is junk. Nobody listens to the bear. What does the bear know? Just basic physics. Have you seen the new Makita cordless ratchet? I just got it and it's sweet. I have not seen it. I didn't even know it was out. I didn't know they were coming out with one. How did I miss that? You know what you could do is, if you could, just swing by the house and drop that off just for a few weeks or years. That'd be great. I want to take a look at it. That sounds cool. I got to check that out now. By the way, I need some spending money.
I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
If someone would like to adopt him for that project, that'd be great.
Nell F says it's 11 p.m. drinking water there.
Yep. Homily665 says, good night, Bear. Good night, chat. Good night.
Good night. Have a great week.
Christina Marie, I'm so glad that you like my hair down. I like it down too. I just...
Who else likes it down?
You.
Me.
That's right.
So, she, on our first date, she wore her hair up in her little space buns like she had a couple weeks ago. And I did not like it at all. I thought it made her look like a troll. And, but she was nice enough and a lot of fun that we had a second date. I'm like, looks aren't everything. And the second date, she had her hair down. And I was like, well, is this the same person? And I admit, I have a thing for long hair. Not like crazy, what's her name? Who was, not the Carpenters, Gail something. The singer from the 70s. Mm-hmm. Had hair all the way down her back. Mm-hmm. Anyway, her dad lived across the street from me. I don't remember. Anyway, the point is that, that I've never been a fan of it. So I get the new phone. First thing I do is send her a text message saying I think she's really Rexy with the space buns. So that she knew it was somebody who knew her. It wasn't just spam. I get a phone call.
It was still creepy.
I get a phone call on the other phone.
Creepy.
Did you get a new phone? Did you get a new number?
And he's all no, and the kids are like, yeah.
And the kids sold me out right there.
That's because the children are
so
not liars.
Oh, I could have played that one so much.
Yeah.
Said, I'm in the house.
Nope. Flamethrower.
Bear One says, also Bear, my Harbor Freight got on shelves the dual bank Herc chargers. Hey, that's awesome. Last time I was there, I checked. They didn't have those in yet, but I knew they were coming here soon. Nello says, hello, folks. And Gramute says, I would love a drink, but the meds for my shoulder said I can't. My shoulder's been killing me, man.
Not mix them. It really is.
And Gramute says, Olite. Yeah, and if I didn't mention, that is the name of the company, is Olite. Is the other little one over there, the little purple? Did the Cubs run off with it? I'm going to beat them if they did. It looks about the same size as this one. Has blue swirls around. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm pretty sure I put it back here.
You hear that? He's trying to beat Cubs, and it's him.
I'm okay with beating Cubs.
Now you're kicking me under the table. Crystal Gale.
Crystal Gale, that's it. I knew there was a Gale thing in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's back in there somewhere. Here's a question for you guys. So I took apart something recently, and I found this motor in it. I'm trying to think of something to do with it. I've been sitting here playing it. I got a 9 volt. It's supposed to run off of 1.5. Let's see if we can run off of 9 volts. Oh, yeah. Buzzing for all it's worth. Better stop that before it cooks. Ooh, is that smoke? It was something. Anyway, if you can think of a good project for that, let me know. I want to do something fun with it.
RBX177 said Karen Carpenter, and that's who I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, Karen, no, it was Crystal Gale was the one I was talking about. Grammy says, I hear great things about Olite. I gotta be honest, they've been pestering me for the past year to work with them, and I didn't have any idea who they were, and I thought it was just another one of these Chinese companies. I get all the time pestered by these Chinese companies, and they they finally sent me something, and it just happened to be a couple weeks before SHOT Show, and I went to check out their website, and it said, oh, we're going to be at SHOT Show, come and check us out. And I'm like, if you're paying for a booth to go to SHOT Show, I think like the smallest booth there is like 10 grand. You're not some Chinese company who's just shoveling stuff out. You're making an investment. And they didn't have just the tiniest booth there. So they I think they rented like a suite next door and stuff. So anyway, the point is that it made me decide to look into it a little bit more. I looked online. I talked to some of you guys. Some people said, yeah, you should try them out. So we did. And we've got 2 other flashlights in the house, and we're going to put them through the ringer here and see what you all think. And the first person who says, not enough lumens, I'm like, does anybody hear? I wonder how many people who complain about, oh, that doesn't have enough lumens, actually know what a lumen is.
Or use them at all in like...
Yeah, or how to measure a lumen or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Wohawk says, no crispy critters, but flamethrowers. That'll get you crispy. You build, we destroy it. I recall just before after Porter Kibble got sucked into Stanley, the Stanley Vortex, there was a vac that was a gray shop vac instead of black. The Dodge 610. This would be for my own workshop. Just wanted to get a hutch this time around. I like the look. Remodeling my 3-car shop. I get it's a great look. I mean, every time somebody comes by, they see that, they're like, wow, that's amazing. If you do decide to go with the Icon, go over to Harbor Freight Coupon Database. They have a 20% off all Icon cabinets coupon. So definitely use that. Robert Adams says an inspection light isn't meant for finding the broadside of a barn. That's right. You need a giant Chinese gong. Harbor Freight should sell those.
Good night, David Fry.
Good night, sir. You have a good one. Thanks for coming by. And BarQ76 says, sorry, Jeff. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch that, but she was nice to you with that gong while I was trying to mess with you.
Yep.
Have you ever heard of Avid Power? That sounds really familiar. Let me take a look here. Why don't you read a comment or 5 while I'm looking that up?
All right. At the Den of Tools, Royal Rumble is over. That's from Steven. Randall J says, "Don't go search apartment woodworking at the woodworking subreddit." Okay, good to know.
Oh my gosh.
Do you see any game-changing tools on the horizon? iDigital Click says.
Next month, Ingersoll Rand is launching their own line of tool truck alternative made in Taiwan hand tools. And of course they're not making them, but they're putting their name on it. That's a pretty big deal. And they've got a huge company to stand behind it. They're Ingersoll Rand is a big company. And if they're going to jump into something like that, they're probably going to do it with both feet. And if you think Harbor Freight's made an impact, if you think Gear Wrench has made an impact, if you think Tecton and Capri and Napa's Carlisle made an impact, this has a potential. I mean, because in the bays, in the actual mechanic bays, Ingersoll Rand's got a good rep. There's very few people who are going to be like, well, IR sucks. They've got a good shot there of making some really great tools and getting them accepted. And once people start accepting these, once the general, right now you have a lot of the younger guys, and it seems like the younger guys and the really older guys. The young guys who don't have the money, you see a lot of them going for the alternatives, and the older guys who've learned that, you know what, it doesn't make sense to spend that much money on a lot of these tools, and I'm gonna try some of these other ones, and they have a good experience with. They're going with it. It seems to be the younger middle-aged guys who are bought in. They're sold on this concept, like that they got to get by off the tool truck, and that's what makes them a professional. And so yeah, I think that's going to be probably one of the biggest game changers coming in the upcoming year. I think the other one is going to be Hart Tools rolling out more of their tool line. For the hardcore tool guy, no, that's not going to be a big difference. But for the budget tool guy, that's going to be another selection. It's going to be able to get, like, if you're going to be buying Ryobi, if you're thinking about going into Ryobi, here's Ryobi with a more current battery platform that you can get at a lot more places. You can only buy Ryobi at so many places. There's only 2,000 or so, 2,500 Home Depots. There's over 6,000 Walmarts. And for a lot of these guys, they're in Walmart once a week or something. Go with the wife, go shopping, go look at stuff. It's a lot easier to run to Walmart than it is at Home Depot usually. So it's going to have an impact. You just can't have that much of a distribution chain and not have an impact. No pun intended. All right, Avid Power. I knew I'd seen them before. They are one of these Chinese. I look at a lot of the Chinese knockoff kind of stuff, or the off brands that you see sold through Amazon, and they're yet another one of those companies. So yeah, I've seen them around. I was doing a video on it, and I kind of stalled on doing it. I'll probably get back to it at some point, but they're not somebody I'm excited about or anything. They're just yet another one of the, oh, look, we have tools we put a name on companies. Did we say goodnight to Homily yet? Homily says, goodnight, Bears. Goodnight, chat. Wilhawk says, the kids asked you to show them how it works once. Bear One says, hey, Bear, can I place the workshop pictures in the Google Drive? Yes, you can. That'd be fine. Barbecue 76. Okay, an actual question this time. Do you have a preference between She Who Shall Not Be Named and Google? If so, why? If not, maybe that Gadget Bear could review them. I do have a preference, and I prefer to go with She Who Shall Not Be Named. Now, that may have changed. Okay, my preference hasn't changed. So, I tried them. I was an early adopter with the first one. And I got the second one when it came out, and we ended up turning around and selling it because the first one has, She Who Shall Not Be Named, has a huge level of integration. There's all sorts of things you can buy. The Google one, it's catching up, but it's still way behind. They make some great products, but they're, like, I'm a big fan of the Dot. Like, in our last house, we had a Dot in every room, and we use it as an intercom system. Mm-hmm. It's a great little intercom system, and you get so used to these things. And we set timers with them. I will use it to ask for conversions and stuff like that. I listen to my audiobooks on them. I'm sitting there going, hey, you read my book, and it's going picking up, and it will pick up my book from where I left off in the truck. I get out of the truck. Turn my phone off, come inside, sit down. Gosh. Yeah. Problem.
You and the books.
Do you want to say? Yeah, some of us like to educate ourselves.
You did not just say that.
I listen to trash. Sci-fi fantasy stuff. I can't listen to educational stuff while I'm doing other things because you have to pay too much attention to it, and that distracts.
I need a haircut.
Is your Jennifer Whitewolf back again? Did she leave?
She had a phone call.
That's right. She had the phone call.
I have to say,
I hope
really
it was
late night phone calls.
I hope it was good. She had a big business phone call, and I hope everything's went good for her.
She also said, I want to try building an array of high-powered flashlights in an array frame, like 20 or so, with a common switching system. Light up a mile away.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Bear Once, it sounds like a power tool some people use. Take with that what you will. Sounds like a dentist drill. It does.
Kind of, yeah.
Steven says, get another one and make an ant-weight combat robot. Oh, that sounds like a fun idea.
Christina Marie wants to know why we are not saying She Who Shall Not Be Named name. Because we don't want to set her off. She has a lot of feelings and opinions about things.
Alexa, add Home Distiller's workbook to my Amazon shopping list.
I couldn't find a list called Amazon Shopping. Oh. Should I create one?
Yes.
I've created Amazon Shopping list and added Home Distiller's workbook to it.
Now, everyone who has a she who shall not be named now has a shopping list.
That was pretty funny. That's clever. Good job.
Now, that's what you call guerrilla marketing. Get your robots to buy my products for you. And let's see here. David Fry, we already said goodnight. We'll say goodnight again. Have a good one.
Good night.
Trent says, try out the Eastwood tool tray. Been a long time since I bought something so handy. That's a good thing. I like stuff like that. Let me see what that is. Now, speaking of which, that brings up another thing. If you guys who've seen a lot of my videos, that does look kind of like a cart, like a surgeon or a dentist would use. Probably because that's what they said.
Somebody's
What?
she who shall not be named just woke up asking, "What should I add?"
Oh,
Nice.
missed it.
Love it.
So anyway, if you remember, I got some videos, specifically the one where I reviewed the Harbor Freight Hercules table saw. I used it as an outfeed table. I've got this little table. It's about yay wide, about that deep, and it's got wings that fold out, and it's got a laminated high pressure laminate wood top, like you'd see like in like some school desks or what do you call it? Cubicle desks. It's got a single drawer, wheels. It definitely feels like it's very industrial, like it's made for a school or a hospital or something like that. And I have so many people asking me what it is, where I got it, where they can buy one. I got it at a garage sale. It has no labeling on it whatsoever. I don't know where it came from.
Super strong and amazing because I've also climbed on it.
Yeah, I've used it for all sorts of stuff. It is one of my favorite things around the shop to have. I can use it as an outfeed table. I can use it as an extension to a bench. I can use it as a side table. It's so useful, and I wish I could recommend it to people, but I don't know where they can buy one.
Ronald Smith, we have seen It's a Southern Thing when they did a review of She Who Shall Not Be Named with all the... Yeah, we have seen that like 2,700 times. If you guys have not checked out It's a Southern Thing, you should go check out their channel.
It's one of our favorite channels.
Hilarious. And if they ever want to do a collaboration with us, we are there like in 27 hours. We're there.
Yeah.
Can I have my Fitbit, please? How long is too long for a video insight? Ed, the old tech guy, is asking. Hang on. Bing, 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 bing. Thank you so much for $2.
I don't know how that thing comes apart.
You go like that.
Oh, look at
Ta-da.
that. It's too long if people are getting bored and they stop watching. And it's...
Oh, right. David's got this question.
So, what?
Before it gets skipped again, it says, any recommendations for a hard-sided tool bag that will fit a circ saw and a full-size drill driver set? So you finished the other one, but
Hard-sided tool bag?
I don't know.
I don't know any hard-sided tool bags. I must be out of the loop. I can't think. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, maybe somebody else can comment on that one. As to how long to do the video. YouTube does prefer videos that are 10 to 15 minutes in length, even up to 20 minutes. Usually 10 to 20, right around the 15 is kind of the sweet spot. But don't extend a video just to ramble and add time, because if you do, it's going to turn people off. Now, my videos, I actually, at the beginning, when I first started, they said 5 minutes. 5 minutes is the tops. They wanted short, quick, concise videos. And I had to trim so much out because, as you may notice, I tend to ramble. It's kind of about where I'm from and the kind of people I grew up with and stuff like that. I grew up a lot in the Midwest. I spent some time in the South.
Joe Smith, you are naughty.
What did Joe Smith say?
He said that she who shall not be named order hemorrhoid cream.
Anyway, so when they finally did admit that, okay, the algorithm's changing, we want them to go longer, it made my job a lot easier. Now, people have said that, well, you're just padding it to get the extra minutes. No, that's just the way I normally am. And if you've been in these live streams, you know that.
I gotta go. Sorry.
Someone crying?
No.
Rambling?
Just the herd of buffaloes. I'll be back.
Thank goodness she's gone now. We can talk about her. Anyway, let's see here. Use the motor for a drone project. Oh, that won't last long. I'd just like to say lumens. Lumens. Tell them lux is a better way to measure light than lumens. There you go. That's a good one. Speaking of which, I just ordered, and I'll have to do a review on the Den of Gadgets. If you're not subscribed to the Den of Gadgets, go over, check it out. We're closing in on 1,000 subscribers. Love to hit that 1,000 mark. It would drive my son batty. He's still trying to build his Mad Bad Bear thing. I told him it helps if you put out videos. Anyway, and I just did a video of my new cell phone, my new slicker than snot. This thing, I'm waiting for the case to come in before I actually start really using it because I'm afraid of dropping it. But this thing is great. I'm really liking it over my my old phone. But the see, now I just completely blanked on what we were just talking about. Talking about over at Den of Gadgets. Well, son of a shoe. Somebody remind me what I was talking about. I'm going to go read some questions. Dang it, I just had it. We're talking about Arduino boards. See, this is what happens when you get old. Have you tried the Masterforce Impact drivers from Menards? I have not. No. Gosh, thundering buffaloes up there. Barbecue 76. I was laughing at she who shall not be named and realized why you did it. Then I was going to say, I'll give a small donation if you did something funny with it. You beat me to it, so here you go. Thank you, sir. $10. Sorry, you don't get the dancing missus there. I'm sure she'll for $10. I'm sure she'll do her own little ringy dance thing here for you. I need a guerrilla marketing character now. That would be cool. I run the Ryobi platform. I'm quite pleased with it. Do they make an adapter plate for Ryobi to Heart? I have not seen that, and I think it'll be a while before you see something like that. Nosnick says, I renamed my She Who Shall Not Be Named. No book for me. But I may get it for a present. We can't have something in the house with a... Yeah. Good thing I have my headphones in. Oh. Any recommendation for hard-sided tool bag? I've never seen a hard-sided tool bag. Maybe I have, and I'm just not jumping to mine, but I can't think of it. Yeah, Joe, we're not doing that. I now have a Makita Sawzall thanks to my Google Home hearing my dad talk about mine 2 days ago. Why did Mrs. Bear climb on this super awesome table you have? Because it's in storage right now, and she needed to climb over it to get to some stuff in the back.
Yeah, you know what? We should film that.
We should.
Because the amazing feats that have to happen for me to get things out of storage, it involves climbing on a lot of stuff.
Maybe if somebody wasn't such a pack rat.
We're not going to talk about that.
I'll be back.
Barbecue 76, $10. I was laughing my rear end off.
I already did that.
You
told
really?
You she would do that.
Really? Yeah. Woo! I almost knocked over the microphone and everything. Anyways, but I'm in the comfy seat, but I'm way shorter in this seat. What happened? Okay. Christina Marie, I wish that it would take the Christmas tree down because ours is still up. That's a whole nother story. Wahawk, I do not know if it does adult beverages. I'm going to say probably not. I don't know why I'm trying to read it over here. There's a woman with 500 subs and 2 60-second videos of her dog. But she's been in a lot of live streams on another channel. Interesting. Christina Marie, I will have to try that. I'm trying to read around a tripod, so I apologize. Aubreykin, I will ask that question when he comes back. So, good night, Major Weakness. Everybody probably already said good night to you. Anyways, I don't have a lot of the answers to your tool questions. So I'm looking for one that is something I can comment on. How about, what did everybody have for dinner tonight? Was it delicious and amazing? I'm kind of hungry. I haven't really eaten dinner yet, and I know it's late. Yes, moms everywhere. I know. I should have eaten before. Yes, let's talk about Jeff. What about him? What did he have for dinner? Oh, I remember. Ronald Smith, he's out of the room. How are you going to put some sailor knots in my hair when I'm still here? Sailor knots. Not sure about that. Vintage Diesel had 2 steaks. Okay, now Jennifer White Wolf, I totally understand about getting interrupted. I believe when my children are in college, I will have a full sentence that is not interrupted by anyone. But by that point, I'll probably have lost my memory so much, I'll just have the same conversation over and over again. So don't worry about getting interrupted. Back to Vintage Diesel and his 2 steaks. I want to know about the steaks. Did you have like butter sauce on it? Did you have asparagus? Why did you have 2 steaks? One of those steaks should have been for me. There is a noodle. Really? It's like a trunk. You goober. This is who I live with. Elkvis says his wife made some killer vegetable beef soup for dinner tonight. It is really hard to read through this. Frank had seafood. I love seafood. Really?
You do.
What's wrong?
You're in my seat.
Ooh, Wahawk said had sausage and egg scrambled. That's delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
No one can hear you from that far away. Just so you're aware.
Stop talking. No one's asking
Start
me.
talking.
David said he could go for some yummy banana bread. Oh, that's right. I think I do owe you some banana bread.
Yeah.
Well, there's a story about that banana bread, but there'll be more banana bread. There was banana bread, but then it got eaten before it got mailed
Duncan
out.
helped.
Yeah. It was, yeah. Okay, apparently I have to ask Alexa, what is 0 divided by 0? Hopefully it's appropriate.
The expression 0 divided by 0 has no defined value.
Okay, thank you.
How about this? Alexa, what's the square root of pi?
The square root of pi is 1.7725.
Oh, it won't do it. It used to do it where I just kept going and going and going.
Yeah. Oh. Joe Smith found a possum on the way home and made possum stew.
Oh, how very
Alrighty.
Kentucky of you.
Javier wants to know when you decided to put a work shirt on the bear.
Wait, what?
When did you decide to put a work shirt on the bear? Like when?
From the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to do it. It was being able to figure out how to do it took longer than I always wanted to do that.
Past the Spider says, with all my practice, I was able to make enchiladas and rice in under an hour. I love enchiladas. Actually, that was what I was going to make.
Yeah, enchiladas and rice sounds good.
But I ended up having a conversation with my neighbor, which was really good, but took a long time, and so then enchiladas didn't happen tonight.
Mohawk says he took a new job in maintenance. Did you read that one? No. Okay. I need to organize a pile of sockets. Need to be cheap and portable 3/8 and 1/4 inch drives. Sounds like a Harbor Freight call if you want cheap and portable. Maybe the Quinn ones if you want medium level, and I would suggest then Tecton if you want something nicer than that. Trent says there's a reason why pawn shops are full of tool truck brands. It breaks the people buying them originally. Yeah, and there's a lot of people who buy it with the thought that they're going to sell it for their retirement and realize they're not going to get as much money for it as they were told. Was the labeling of the footage okay for you? I haven't had a chance to look at it, man. And it's going to happen after the show here. Pelican case. I love pelican cases. Not a fan of pelicans. They're angry little creatures.
You Build It, We Destroy It had bacon.
Mmm.
And David, is it Gamario, says, when Mrs. DeBear, when are we getting some couponing vids? Yep. I should work on that.
Yeah. She's been working on that for like 7 years at this point. Hard-sided tool bags like the one I have a fixed handle and are always open. So, okay, well, I'll have to look into those. I mean, I've seen the ones, I always call them gator mouth bags because that was the company that I originally think of where they've got a wire and a hinge so that when you open them, they stay open, but they're soft-sided. Alexa, take down the Christmas tree.
Yep, I know. I already talked about that. Abercan sardines from the Dollar Tree are pretty good. I have not tried them.
That sounds horrible.
This isn't me. I just had some freshly made banana bread. So you ate the banana bread.
Yeah. Frank says you could not review 20 drills in 5 minutes. Think about that. Well, because like I used to do the top 10 videos. And if you do a top 10 video, you've got an intro, an outro, and then 10 items. You now have less than a minute per item to tell people not just what they are, but like the specs and why it's good or why it's bad. Oh my gosh, you end up talking like a freaking auctioneer.
Hey,
What?
Justin Dow.
Justin Dow in the house, my man, brother. What's up?
Hey.
Everyone, if you haven't gone over, go check out Justin Dow. Yet another of our mods with a great channel of his own.
Check him out.
He does some great
subscribe,
videos. Go
Hugo.
check him out. Speaking of which, now's a great time to join part of our Adopt a Mod program where you can go check out one of the mods. That's anybody with their name's blue with the little cobalt blue wrench behind them. Go check out their channel. Most of them are creators as well. And, go watch one of their videos, give them a thumbs up, and maybe even consider subscribing over there. They do so much to help this channel. It's a great way you can help support the whole entire tool community because we always believe that a rising tide floats all boats. Anyway, yes?
David Adder says, ammo case for $2.99 for loose sockets. That was his suggestion. And Aberkin wrote this before while you were gone, and I wasn't going to answer it because I don't know the answer. The Den of Tools. I was at BJ's Wholesale the other day, and they had some 55-watt LED assembled in USA shop lights for $40, I think. Box said you could link up to 6 together. Was that something you were talking about before?
We talk about shop lights a lot. I'm not sure off the top of my head wattage, because wattage with LEDs is kind of like, it's kind of hard to tell really what it's doing. You got to really figure out how much light it's outputting. The linked together features, they were selling those at Costco. They were selling for like $20 or $25. I don't know if they're as bright or if they're as good. I would do some research just to compare them, but I'm a big fan of the linking system. Now, of course, you can do that with any shop light. You just have to play electrician and hope that you're not shocked at how bad a job you do. Let's see here. And I like the idea about the ammo cans. I'm a big fan of plastic ammo cans. What are you doing? No, you're not braiding my...
Barbecue 76 says that I
Nope.
should braid your hair. Oh, wait, just your beard. And then he put himself in the corner.
Yeah. There'll be no braiding. Elle comes out here once in a while with her brush because I want to brush it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Jeff.
That's right,
Nah,
we
that's
did.
all right.
We did.
Jeff's going to be 51 this year in a few weeks. Or less. Or less.
Yes, less.
Since she's out of the room, do some sailor knots with her on her hair.
I was like, but I'm not out of the room. I'm here. So that didn't make any sense.
Jim Haynes, see you guys late night on the East Coast. You have a good one. Good night. Jennifer, I keep getting interrupted tonight. That's what it's like when you run your own business.
Yep.
How do I get the bloodstains out of the carpet in my truck?
Well, there's
Get
a whole
red carpeting.
long story that goes on with that.
Did I miss part of it or something? Or?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh.
You probably should.
No, I'd say get red carpeting. That way you never have a problem with that sort of thing.
Yep.
Otherwise, a pressure washer.
Or again, hand sanitizer.
And Dawn.
Hand sanitizer really does take it out.
Dawn.
Says the man who doesn't clean the carpet.
And peanut butter. Just mix it all together.
Okay. Yep. It's that time of the evening where he has lost his mind.
Speaking of which, you got to watch the channel Sous Vide Everything.
Oh yeah.
Or
No.
sous vide.
No.
So sous vide is a case where you take a food, you put it in a plastic bag, you seal it, you put it in a water bath, and then it's got a little thing that hangs in the water bath that heats it and causes the water to flow around. It's essentially like frying something, but it's more of a slow cooking method. But because the water is all around the thing, you don't get the kind of spot heating you get from an oven. And you can do this really controlled cooking with it. So they did a month with a brisket at like 190 degrees or something. And as soon as he said the temperature, I'm like, that's not going to kill bacteria. Yeah, watch the video. Oh, they don't eat it. No. But it's... oh.
Jennifer Whitewolf said, hit the like button. You can't, or says, I hit the like button, or the thumbs up button. You can too. And it's like 2 hours and 47 minutes into our show, and I just realized I hadn't hit the button, so I just did. Thanks. Someone seriously needs to like gonk me on the head, because I forget.
You know what I need to do? I need to write an app that will be in the She Who Shall Not Be Named store for liking this. And then I can just tell people's She Who Shall Not Be Named to like the video for them. That would be...
Anyways.
That's IQ 1000 right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Christina Marie, she says, stop being a serial killer to get the red blood stains over the carpet. I didn't say it. I did think it, but I didn't say it. Thank you, Christina Marie.
Hiram. Hey, Hiram. How's it going, man? You never really know how well a flashlight will work until you use it and find the insides of the battery rot over time from the... yeah, well, there's that. And let's see here. How's the diet going? Down 27 pounds in 3 weeks.
That's just him.
Just me. Check us out over at geekhealth.com. Don't forget to check out geekhealth.com. Check out the Den of Gadgets. Also check out, all of our friends here. Christina Marie, Joe Smith,
Paul Saint Marie.
I'm trying to get Jennifer Whitewolf to start her channel. And of course, Justin Dow. He's got a great channel over there. You got to check him out.
Joe Smith.
Let's see here. Seafood. I want seafood. When are we getting the coupon vids? I love that. Yeah, when are we getting those? Never.
I think
Ever.
I can almost put it in a bow.
Delta Russet, I had Little Smoky cocktail weenies. Oh my.
That sounds good.
Sardines. Siri is the one that has the funny responses. They have quite a few on the other ones too. They try to spice them up. Gonna make a video on the 66 Mustang project to put on Joe Daddy's garage. Maybe I can do a walkthrough of Northern Tool if I don't feel too odd doing it. I will be honest, I did not want to do walkthrough videos, and I still get nervous doing them. And I'm from the Midwest. We're excessively polite. We're almost Canadian at that point. And it's... it's kind of thing like I would run somebody over like, oh, I'm so sorry, even though they ran into me. But because I'm bigger, So it's, I always feel a little self-conscious doing the videos because I don't like imposing myself. But they like it. They want people to get the store's information out there. They want people to shop there. And
Nathaniel Davies says, when are you going to do the Den of Gadgets? We are doing it. It's happening. It's a thing. Tom Terrific says, I would love to see you do this as Mr. and Mrs. Bear. Do what? We are doing it. We are... Oh. Hi, I'm slow. You mean as animated bears. I'm with you.
The animation for a long live stream is really... it's too much. I tried doing that early on, and it's... it doesn't really work for that. And besides, people like to see us. They like to see behind the scenes. This is your weekly behind the scenes. Ask questions about the videos you've seen before. Ask anything you want, as long as it's family friendly. We're happy to talk about it. We try to answer all questions, as long as you type at the Den of Tools, or it's a super chat, or we just happen to see it.
Yep. Daughter Bra, thank you for saying you were going to remind me. I need to be reminded, obviously. I need guidance.
Javier asks, what's the bear's opinion and observation on humans? Generally, he thinks they're delicious. A little bit of mustard, actually maybe a little bit of barbecue sauce.
Mustard.
He likes it when they run. It's, it's more exciting that way or something. I don't know. Especially if they have tools in the car. Then he's like, woo, bonus round. The Trent says the Milwaukee installation drill driver is top notch. I gotta say, I've heard great things about it, but I always get a laugh out of these Milwaukee guys going, Harbor Freight just copies people. I'm like, if that Milwaukee isn't a Festool knockoff all day long, I don't know what is a knockoff tool, because yeah. So I hear it's a great tool. I'm glad people like it. I don't ever hear a Milwaukee person ever say that anybody else copies anything. Pork chops, some flavor, scalloped potatoes, mixed vegetables for dinner this Sunday. That sounds delicious. That's a comfort meal in a bag right there for me.
Wahawk, you said those disgusting mini cabbages. I know what you're talking about. And they're delicious. You just need to have some bacon.
Start talking about brisket that's been sous vide'd for a month?
That's disgusting.
And what it smelled like?
No.
Yeah, just like those little mini cabbages.
No, the mini cabbages are delicious.
Oh, they're terrible.
Don't eat them. I'm still going to try to shove them in there.
And Frank comments, and he is right on this, that Justin Dow's dad, the home handyman, has a great channel too. He really does. Yep. Pasta Spider says, I still haven't tried anchovies on a pizza like in the cartoons. It's not cartoons. The old Italians do that, man. And I've been,
Christina Marie thinks that Mr. Bear should kiss Mrs. Bear because he called her a pack rat.
No, she's a pack rat. I didn't call her a pack rat. She is a pack rat. The only thing I pack rat are stuff that's important.
Christina Marie, you're going to have to poison his food on Tuesday. That's the only solution, obviously.
Like tools and parts and stuff like that. Stuff you need. She will, save a tissue because so-and-so cried into it one time and when she was 4 and we got to...
and then when he needs stuff, he's like, where's the blah, blah, blah?
Because you moved it.
You mean that thing
because you moved it.
No.
Yes.
Like, where's the blah, blah? I'm like, you mean that thing you told me to throw away? I saved it because obviously we don't need to throw it away.
No. Yeah. You're saving it as I saw you left it somewhere that you knew where it was, and so I moved it. There's a great shirt, has that guy, the Dos Equis guy, says, nope. I don't always lose things, but when I do, it's because my wife moved it.
The only option, Christina Marie, is poisoning, obviously. Tuesday, get it done.
I've had so much poison at this point. I'm immune. Braid his beard like Odin. I thought about that. I did. I've kind of thought about growing it out. I don't know if I today though I thought about shaving it because when it starts getting warm, this is gonna drive me nuts. But it would be nice if I could get a little bit longer there and start doing the whole big braid. I should like to do the 2, like the big dwarf kind of, Let's see here. Magnetic bar for $5 at Harbor Freight. Handy, 3/8 on one side, 1/4 on the other. Easy access and tidy.
Shane Revel says, roasted mini cabbages with bacon, Romano cheese, and balsamic vinegar. Yes, I will be at your house immediately. That sounds delicious.
One of the best things I ever had, I was...
See, Paul St. Marie says send some to him too. See, we can have a Brussels sprout.
That's not what he's talking about.
House. Yes, it is. Shush.
Iverkin says, don't sous vide. Plastic ain't good for you. Neither is cooking, to be honest. The carbon that builds up when you do that is not good for your body. I've found pretty much life is not good for you.
Everyone should be a raw vegan. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Great.
No.
Christina Grace says you're not being nice.
I think one of the best meals I ever had, I was down in Mexico. I was over south of Cancun, and it's a little town, and I had Langostino lobsters with herbed butter wrapped in bacon. And for those who don't know, langostino really is just a giant freshwater shrimp mini lobster creature.
It's a sea bug.
Yeah, it's a sea bug.
It's a delicious sea bug.
It's a sea cockroach.
Yes, they're delicious.
So
and if you have
tasty.
those, you should definitely call me too because I like those.
Oh, yeah.
I like seafood. I like mushrooms. I like Brussels sprouts.
I love seafood.
Delicious.
Uh,
Daughter Fra, I know that you would never lose something, so obviously Stephen has to have moved it somewhere.
Yeah. Wohawk says, Iowans are almost Canadians, eh? Well, we play hockey, not ashamed to drink Molson's, and we're incredibly polite. We don't talk funny, but the rest of it is pretty much, and we're not bothered by the cold.
Christine Marie says it's not called pack rat, it's called having extra just in case there's an emergency. That's right.
Do you want me to tell them how much you have in storage? Do you? No, didn't think so.
Be nice.
Hiram says a pressure washer in a vehicle. You want to laugh? Check out Mike Dido, How to Detail a Car Exterior from 2008. Well, I used to have a Jeep CJ7. We'd go mudding with that thing. And I learned that pressure washing the inside of a vehicle can and should be done at times. And I've seen a lot of stuff where I was at SEMA and they were actually demoing car interior pressure washers. Nobody for 40 feet around the booth could breathe.
Whatever. Breathing's overrated. Hipsters and Hippies says, I was eating ladyfinger sandwiches, and then halfway through I realized I forgot to take her wedding ring first.
You chip a tooth. Grameen says, the commercial we did today was about a mob guy bringing in his computer to get it repaired. He says, used to have a guy so keep quiet on anything you stumble upon.
That's right. Traveler X says, Langostino is fake lobsters restaurants scam people with. I think that's true. Langostino is not actually a lobster, but it is delicious, and it should get in my belly. Anyways, that's all.
It's close enough in a lot of cases. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of lobster itself. I prefer crab if I'm going for that really delicate, just smothered in butter kind of thing. Which, if you're in San Francisco, and I'm sorry if you are, but if you are, what is the name of that seafood place that's known for the crab and stuff? They do the drunken crab, and it's famous. It's not crustacean. Is it crustacean? I think it's called crustacean.
Crustaceans.
Anyway,
Justin Dow said, sounds like Mrs. DeBear needs an icon toolbox. It's amazing that you say that because we have one right here.
If she thought she could fit that in the house, she would.
Actually, I was really excited. I saw somebody repurpose their toolbox for, not an icon, but another one. They were living in a bus. They turned their house into a bus. Their bus into a house. And they incorporated it into their house on wheels. And it was a great idea because you can lock all the doors closed. And one of the things when you have an RV or something where you're driving around is the drawers open and crap falls everywhere. I thought it was brilliant.
Do you want to get in one of those drawers? Paul Marie says, no YouTube videos for me yet. I bought a SJ cam but haven't managed to put together anything viewable. Some Google photo albums for various projects. And don't forget also, as Joe Smith says, Friday after dark, he's got a link in there. Go check it out. And Matthew says, Bear, I eat one time a day most of the time. Try spicier foods and caffeine. I have lots of caffeine, and I do like spicy foods.
Who said that?
Matthew Bean.
Oh. Yeah.
Rodman Dealerman says, sorry I'm late. Are you aware of the rights to repair bill that is currently being debated across the land? I'm astounded that it has to be a debate. I think what Apple is doing and pushing this whole thing, and they've been the forefront, the first to say we're licensing you the phone. If they don't do this, everything's going to become a license, and you won't have the right to repair anything, and then you'll have to go back to the manufacturer. The manufacturer will be like, we'll get around to it. Why don't you buy a new one? Because that's what they want. They want you to buy the new stuff. They always want you to buy the new stuff. And the right to repair, it's one of those things that's like, it's mine. I should be able to repair it. And I paid for it. I own it. And they're just trying to string this stuff together. It's one of the reasons I stopped buying. Like, I used to have an iPad. I loved the iPad when it came out. And I was going to get an iPhone. And I realized that they've locked that system down, and the way that they think and the way they treat their consumers is like you should be privileged to buy our stuff. And I'm like, I got lots of other choices. I'll go somewhere else where people actually appreciate me. Let's see here.
So, my new BFF, where did you go?
Ha.
Where did you go?
Mr. Bean. Matthew, right here. The one time a day spicy food guy?
No.
Oh. Bear One says, to give some advice to those cub reporters doing store tours, think of it like you're talking to someone on a video call. Talk through it makes it a lot easier compared to silent. That's a good point. That's a good. You can pretend like, oh, I'm talking to someone. Yeah. And it gives some good vocals to go along with the footage also.
Somebody was mentioning that I'm not a pack rat, that I'm a pack bear, and I just have extra stuff in case hibernation goes extra long. That's right. I don't know who said it because it moved, but you are my new BFF. Thank you.
I'm not buying it. Anchovies are essential to good za. Paul Saint-Marie says. If you say pineapples next, you're out of the club. I'm just saying.
Daughter of Ross says Ricky is not going to school tomorrow. He's having a third ear infection in 2 months and thinking that tubes are going to be coming.
Oh.
So I'm really sorry. I give him big snuggles.
I'm really sorry about that.
And
That sucks when your babies are
I know.
going through stuff like that.
Yep.
Trent says, true, copying a good thing can't be all bad. Fest tools are all overrated and overpriced. They're way overpriced. They do some great stuff. Some of their stuff is just amazing that nobody else does. But the fact of the matter is, everyone copies everything in business. That's what happens. I came out with my book, the Home Distiller's Workbook, and there was nobody else in the genre doing anything like it. Fast forward 6-7 years, and I'm getting pushed out by large corporations who can come in and spend more money on advertising to the point where they know that they're going to lose money for a few years, but they can push me far enough down the rankings that they'll own the market afterwards. I'm like, you could have just paid me that money up front. I would have given it to you. But the other thing is that, look at the car industry. Look at any industry. People follow trends. That's what happens.
Justin Dow, you are a genius, my friend. He said, what would be interesting is a kitchen with a pantry built into the floor that elevates itself and is a pantry for cold or dry food.
I've seen that.
That is brilliant.
There's some videos on kitchens of the future, stuff like that.
Carson's Exploring Channel building a do-it-yourself hexcopter drone.
Oh, that's cool.
Check out his channel. Super awesome. Thank you so much. $2.
Javier says, the only reason I want to go to Italy aside from the Roman Colosseum is pizza and pasta foods. You may just be disappointed with pizza because pizza over there is not like pizza here. That said, they're fabulous foods. All of Europe is like that, except for Great Britain, which has terrible food. But
That's terrible that you just said that.
Have you seen British food? I mean, fish and chips. Don't get me wrong. I can kill some fish and chips, but the rest of it.
Grimut said pineapple.
Oh, you're going to pizza hell.
Okay, I'll be right back. I have to check on the children.
Quote of the day. The only things I pack rat are important things. And everything's important.
Young man, you better mind your people too.
That paperclip means it's an emotional safety paperclip. I need it. Let's see here. If I lose something, it's usually me putting it in a place I don't normally do, so I forget it. So, because it's out of habit for me, a creature of habit, I'm like that. But I'm the kind of person that can also lose something by putting it down in front of me. I'll put my glasses down and be like, where are my glasses? Oh, they're right there. Yeah, that's totally them. Enough butter and bacon can make almost anything edible except for mini cabbages and fruitcake. I would tend to agree with that. My youngest son, and I have to say these words. His new favorite passion is mayonnaise sandwiches. I'm going to put him up for adoption because he's clearly not mine. Mayonnaise sandwiches. I need a minute. I had to get that back down. That almost came up. Mayonnaise. Can't even talk about it. Moving on. James, I'm on a seafood diet. Yeah. I used to be. Red Lobster. I like Red Lobster. You know, I've liked Red Lobster since I was a kid. Like, take the kids there. I mean, what other restaurant can you go to and be like, him? I'm going to eat that one. The fat one right there. I want him. And, but, you know, the biscuits they bring, and you get these huge plates of all sorts of assorted, good little butter-drenched foods. It's awesome. That's where I go. It's keto-friendly, too, if you get the broiled stuff. That's the one thing I really hate about the West Coast. You go to the East Coast, all the way down the East Coast are fabulous. You can't throw a stone and not hit the next amazing seafood restaurant when you're on the coast. Just from beautiful high-end places to little shacks that you think they'd be boiling it in motor oil. You can't not get great seafood on the East Coast. I moved out to the West Coast. I'm on the Pacific. I'm like, yes, there's going to be great cheap seafood. Oh, there's good seafood at all the high-end restaurants. But try and find a great cheap seafood. They're few and far between. I can think of like 3 in the area we lived, and you had to drive out of town to find them. It was ridiculous. Now, good cheap Chinese food, that I could find.
Mayonnaise sandwiches with scrambled eggs are amazing. I have heard that from several people recently.
Oh!
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was talking about Griffin and not in a kind way.
Oh, that's not nice.
He came in and was like, Dad, can I have a mayonnaise sandwich? I almost threw up on him.
Honey, just let him have a sandwich.
I let him have a sandwich, but he almost got more than a sandwich. Let's see here. Frank says, we had lobster, scallops, shrimp, crab legs, and salmon tonight. You had me right up to salmon. I'm not a fan of salmon. I'm like mahi, halibut, nice, light, flaky, white kind of fish. It's 9 o'clock. You wanted to talk about that company. We did. We talked about the CPO. We had a whole big, long discussion on it. So I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say that you're going to have to go back and watch afterwards because it was a huge discussion. The takeaway is they called me. They said some things that I like to hear about the way the company is going in the future. The guy I listened to, I believe he believes it. I'll say that. I don't know what upper management's going to say, but he convinced me that he believes that. But he is management, but he's not the CEO. And this kind of stuff usually is a top-down kind of thing. So we'll see. I told him this. I'll keep an open mind, and I'll see what happens over the next year, and I'll see what changes happen.
Robert Adams, I hear you. He says he's ready to go back to Greece for Greek food. I have not been to Greece, but I am willing to go like tomorrow. I can clear my schedule.
What are those things we got? The great dolmas. Meat domales with the olive leaves?
No, it's grape leaves.
Grape leaves.
That have rice and meat. The ones in the U.S. here, unless you go to like a yaya's house, grandma's house, they're mainly like just rice and vegetables sometimes. But I like the meat ones that are delicious.
What we found is if you go to a real Greek restaurant and she'll ask them for them, and they're like, and their eyes will get big, like, oh, you know how they're really made, and they're like, we don't sell them, but we make them in back, and quite often they'll offer to make them for us.
Mm-hmm. They're so good. Yep.
It's kind of weird that Harbor Freight makes a white tool cart, but I think they're testing the market to see if they can come out. That was their first test. Put it out there, see if people like it. And I think that there's a good chance we'll see other stuff coming like that, depending on how well it sells. Logan's Creation. I have the Harbor Freight 17-inch magnetic sweeper, and it doesn't have an automatic release. How do you recommend getting stuff off small? Oh, that is a pain in the wazoo. Probably a metal wire brush. That's the only thing I can think of that's going to take that stuff off. A bigger magnet, but then you're in a worse situation. You could you could heat it to the point where it loses magnetism. That's probably not good over the long haul of it. You need to let your beard get longer so you can put on your robe hat and proclaim that you have no power here.
Okay, honey, so we have to work with Christina Marie because she needs a new barbecue pit because the weather's getting nice. And then she said barbecue time at her house. So make it happen.
That's my bad shoulder.
Hey, sorry.
Yeah. She does that all day long.
Yeah.
And I got some rotator cuff stuff going on here.
Whiner. You call me a pack rat, so touche.
Anyway, we'll have to go over and check out where she's going to build it.
What's going on with the chat?
I don't know. It's jumping around, isn't it? Literally every citizen wants right to repair and every manufacturer reject. Not every manufacturer. That's not true. But Apple and a lot of it's coming. The car industry really wants this to happen. They don't want to be the ones out there saying this. They really want this to happen because then they're going to start licensing you vehicles.
Me, Triple Bears, and Foxy came to say goodbye.
Oh.
Good night.
Good night, my princess. I love you.
I love you.
These are my children.
Yes.
No,
Good
they're
night.
not. They're.
Look at the cigar.
What?
I'm sorry, that was in
The
your ear.
cigar.
Yes, I did look at the cigars. Thank
You're
you.
all clean and everything. Have a great night. I love you too, Eleanor. Thanks for my hug. Thanks for my hug.
Little mayonnaise eater.
Ha!
Love you.
I eat mayonnaise.
Oh.
Go on, buddy. I love
Guess
you.
what?
We're putting him up for adoption tomorrow.
No.
I'll put you on.
Good night.
Darren has a job. Why are we putting him up for adoption?
Oh, that's true. He got like 2 or 3 new clients today.
Yep.
Let's see here. What do you think of Ridge's half-inch impact with 4 amp hour battery? I think it's a good tool. I think that the company does everything they can to get out of servicing that lifetime service agreement, which is why you don't hear me recommending Rigid very much. All right, we got to catch up here because it's after 9. So I'm going to do a quick one read through here. Thank you, sir. Louis Rossman has a YouTube channel. He's taken it upon himself to go after various state lobbies for the bill. I do. Go watch Louis Rossman. Tell him the bear sent you. He'll wonder what that all's about because he has no clue who I am. But what he's doing is good, and everyone should be lobbying their senators and stuff who are completely bought and paid for by people with more money than us. But if we threaten to come at them with pitchforks and stuff, maybe they'll actually get their act together and we'll get this law because it seems to be a fundamental right and one of those inalienable rights we talk about. Trying anchovy, roasted garlic, and calamari. Nope. So you said anchovy. It's all gone. How about this? Flushable wipes that are actually flushable. That would be good. Yep. My next kitchen build will have the dishwasher and fridge lifted up 18 off the floor so it's at adult height. Shepherd's pie is delicious. It's okay. No, what they do have, the British did right, are meat pies. The little meat, those are awesome. And beer. Tater tots casserole.
rolls.
It's an Iowa thing. I'm not a big fan of the sausage rolls.
You haven't had the right one, obviously.
I don't even like mayo on my sandwich. I don't like saying the word mayo. Pepe Le Pew is far from good food. How good are rigid tools? Ask Justin Dow. Go check out his channel. He's a huge fan of rigid tools. I used to have rigid tools. If you look at my early videos, there's a lot of rigid in there. I like rigid tools. I will not say they're bad tools. I think their design is a little over the top, like trying to go after that extreme tool user kind of thing, where it's a little cheesy. I like the more slimline, clean lines. Let not get into the craziness kind of thing. The batteries are okay. There's nothing special about the batteries. They're not as good as I would like to hope. The chargers used to be much better. They've taken some cost or some price savings or money savings on the chargers. They're not what they used to be. They still have some good ones, but you have to pay extra for them. They don't come in the combo kit anymore. The big issue is they push this lifetime service agreement, and they use every excuse to not honor the lifetime service agreement. Don't worry about the mayo sandwiches. It's a phase. That's all I can hope. Check Life of Boris channel for loads of Slavic food. Oh, that sounds good. I can't be watching stuff like that right now.
No, we can. There's
as long as
keto
it's me,
versions of
okay.
a lot of stuff.
Frank says, I love mayo and a big slice of tomato. Oh, when I was a kid, it was Miracle Whip. Yeah, me too. And on that also. David says he likes fish tacos. I like fish tacos. I want to go out to Vegas for all you can lobster, and then you can eat scallops. We talked about months back. Going to those buffets, the big nice ones. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. Have you tried marinated bear meat? Bear meat isn't very good, and half the time it eats you. Fried peanut butter and bananas. I hear that's pretty good. Down here, you need a good, cheap Chinese food. You find a Publix, and boom, within the parking lot spaces, there will either be a suite or another building with a Chinese takeout joint.
No, that's not.
No, that's a bad call.
Give me the tripod. I don't know what thare doing, but they're doing ridiculous things with.
She was
tripods.
doing videos with it, and I let her borrow it. What are your thoughts on flushable baby wipes actually being flushable? From what I've seen, they're not flushable. And I'm a big fan of them. I think that if you're going to have any kind of sense of being clean, that you need that or a bidet. And but like I ran, a business, and we had a problem because everyone in the office used them, and allegedly the flushable ones. And after 6 months, we had to call a plumber out there to root the drain. If you ever come north New Jersey, check out White Manta Hamburger, a couple locations. I've been there a whole bunch, but I've never been there. Red Lobster is based in Central Florida, a list of main headquarters. There's seafood restaurants all over the place here. Gramita says, I know a good fruit salad I had the other day, but instead of grapes, it had Snickers bar. Oh my. Grapes that had Snickers bars. Oh.
Honey.
Yeah. Fish is in the ocean, not meant to get eaten for a reason. Oh, no, it's meant to be. Oh. Mahi-mahi. If you have a good mahi-mahi steak, you will not go back to steak. It is that good. And I'm a Midwest Iowa steak eater with the best of them. On the white carts, I can tell you in my area, they are popular. Lots of salons, women's beauty places, blah, blah, blah. I've seen them, somebody on the internet's turned one into a baby changing station. If you like Mexican tamales, if you ever go to Chicago, you need to try El Milagro. They are the best. I've been to Chicago. I've been to Little Mexico in Chicago. I went there for, what do you call it? Day of the Dead.
Dia de los Muertos.
Dia de los Muertos. And I used to live in that area, and we'd go to Chicago all the time, and it was a blast. I'm not a tamales fan. There's just too much of the, was it masa? Is it? The corn meal?
Yeah, masa harina.
Yeah. Robert says, I think the better half of some pics of the Greek food on her phone. I think the better half has some pics of Greek food on her phone. We'll look at it, add to the thread in the forum.
Yes.
Yeah,
we
love
getting pictures of food, and we love food in general, and we are keto, but
I love Greek and Mediterranean food, like not just Greek, but all of it. Moroccan,
yeah, Moroccan's good. Hiram Bifton,
Persian.
$2.
Hiram.
Thank you so much.
$2 more going towards our new microphone, so hopefully we'll sound better. We can get our double microphone set up. Was it Fairlight Scarlet? Is that what it is that we're using we're gonna get for the audio pass through? And we're gonna be buying it all used. Yeah, we're not going like top dollar or anything. I'm buying it all used. So that's our next big upgrade for the show. Yeah. Is that a 3-headed bear?
No, that was 3 bears.
How's the oldest doing? We haven't seen him in a few months. He's
13.
Yeah, we gotta figure something out with him. He's a good kid. He gets into his own thing so much. We gotta get him more. And it's part of the problem is that I'm so focused and spending time trying to get all this stuff up and working that I'm not spending enough time with him, and I need to make a change with that. Is Harbor Freight Featherboard any good or junk? I've seen it. I've not used it, so I can't really say.
Justin Dow, $2. Thank you for hashtag make rigid whips great again. Yep. Said it. Ding, 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 ding. Love you, Justin. There's a whole long discussion about whips instead of wipes. It's long.
I was going to say.
Yep. That just happened.
And be sure you check out Justin's channel. As I said, he's got a great channel. He's an active, mechanic working in an independent shop. He sees a lot of stuff. He gets to talk about it. He's honest to the core. He can't help but be honest. And man, he's my YouTube brother over there. And if you got a second and you're interested in that sort of stuff, go check him out. He's got a great family, great people over there. His dad included, who has his own channel. I'm trying to catch up. I use a shop rag or plastic bag over the sweep floor mat. That's a good idea. Putting a bag over it. Oh, that's a high level thinking there. Do not take your car to Jiffy Lube. We've gotten a rash of destroyed drain plugs, over-tightened lugs. Oh yeah, that's what's going to happen. We've tried. I will admit, I do take her car in because it's got a full underplate on it because it's the Trailhawk edition, and it's just such a pain to take off the whole thing. It really is, and I'm being lazy. I know.
Justin Dow, $5. He's
what?
saying he can't spell. I'm gonna say, okay. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you. I liked the make rigid whips great again. I like that.
Javier says, go watch How to Barbecue Right. It's a great channel.
Okay.
What about the man wipes on Shark Tank? I don't know. I should ask him. They're just down the street from here. No, where they live. Their offices are down near the strip, but they used to own a local donut shop, but for some reason, I think they sold it. The bidet is where the au jus sauce comes from. That and Bear said, I passed by Red Lobster's headquarters a number of times out in Orlando. Real cool looking building. Hiram says, thank you for explaining the appropriate length of videos you make. Knowing that means a lot more than you might think. Hey, no worries, man. And there's going to be a lot more. I might be adding that to some of the videos I'm going to do on the Gadget channel. I'm going to be talking about how to do YouTube stuff. Hummus. I love hummus.
Not keto.
Hummus is good food. Not keto, but it's good food.
Chocolate hummus is also amazing. Check it out, people.
Never had that. Tony Ringtail says, hey, Tool Bear, just an FYI, the Makita combo deal you mentioned the other day didn't exist in Florida. Couldn't even find a similar combo. But Lowe's does have a 2-tool deal at $15. Whoa. Good savings from the Ringtail. Let's see here. Is Ditka still open in Chicago? I don't know. I haven't been to Chicago in a coon's age, so. Barbecue 76, if you're doing dual microphones, then I want to hear some kind of dueling microphones. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, Cosby in his career was very funny. He was very funny. All right. So it's 9:24. We've gone well past our 9 o'clock mark. We're well late into the evening. How do you like the Milwaukee Drain Snake? I've not used it. Speaking of whips, I did buy one recently on Amazon, and it works great.
On the children, I agree.
Yeah. I don't know. I've not tried that one. So, but anyway, so we're wrapping it up. Thank you, everyone who came. It's a long evening here. On your way out the door, if you could hit that like button, if you haven't already, we'd really appreciate it. It does a lot to tell YouTube that you like what we're doing here, and helps promote the channel and helps us, get up to that next level, helping us level up. And I was really hoping to hit 300 tonight. I'm not even sure where we are, but it would be nice if we could get close. And thank you, everyone who donated tonight.
Yes,
the super chats. As I said, all funds right now from this point forward are going towards microphones. We've been dealing with I've been doing this for over 4 years at this point, and I've used the same snowball microphone for the entire time. and it's time to get something a little bit better. We're starting to do podcasts, and with the podcast, you need that better level of audio. So anyway, thank you for contributing. Thank you for everyone who's a member or who became a member tonight, and thank you for everyone who chatted and stuff and just were part of the online tool community, our fellow tool bearers out there. Yeah. Anyway, and Ed, the old tech guy, hey Ed, how's it going, by the way? Says Ditka's is still in Chicago. So if you're in Chicago, go by, check out Ditka's. And anyway, thank you all for joining us tonight. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on. Now I want to go to Chicago.
Now I want
deep dish pizza.